The Falls Count Everywhere podcast would like to mention our friends at the following. For the most intriguing wrestling stories and info on independent shows in multiple regions, nobody does it like We Talk Wrestling. Subscribe to Facebook's #1 interactive community for professional wrestling today. Pro wrestling on Tuesdays are a blast with the Wrestle Talk podcast. Join the entire crew every Tuesday at 7 p.m. as they bring their takes on the major circuits, showcase interviews with various indie stars, and news on the #1 fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. Visit them at facebook.com/WrestleTalkPodcast and at WrestleTalkCast on YouTube and X.
All of us here show appreciation and love to our first responders, military, and volunteers that help our nation as well as protect and serve us every day. Thank you for all you do.
Get ready for episode number 166 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, as we welcome the second-generation wrestler, creating a storm of destruction whoever stands in his path, crushing his opposition inside the squared circle. Royce Adams!
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome here on another great Sunday night and another great week of wrestling action. That's right. We are busy as always when it comes to professional wrestling. And my gosh, another big night, big weekend. Oh my gosh, it's just so much to catch up with, but we're going to do it all here with episode number 166 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast here. Tonight here, I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby, of course, on the left and to the right. As always, the Gem City Mouse, Zmiz. Man, see, I think I'm getting dizzy all the time because just always big weeks of wrestling. There's another big week coming up again. Man, I don't know where we're going to get a break, man.
You're getting hit from all sides of professional wrestling. If you want to go to local shows and enjoy the up-and-coming future of professional wrestling in your local area with your great promotions, or if you're watching the main staples, main cards, dude, there is just wrestling all around. It's beautiful. I love it. And I'm too addicted sometimes.
Yeah, I know, man. Like I said, if you're all watching the show right now, make sure you're sharing that show. Make sure that you get a chance to get a device to scan the QR code. It's going to take you to our link tree for everything that we do here. What? Some of these Girl Scouts. Oh, I know who that is, and you got a Rochambeau coming, sir. So we're not Girl Scouts. So
we love you, Skylar. We love you.
So make sure you scan the QR code. Check out our link tree. That's going to take you to everywhere we're at online, and also where you can get our official merch. That's right, the official Falls Count Everywhere podcast jersey tee, along with the Prairie Dog We Talk Wrestling tee, and also a lot more. That's, of course, by our good friend Terry Rush Russell of the WokeBrand.com. That's WHOAQ brand.com. And just go and check it out. We've got a lot of good things coming here for you. And I'll tell you what, man, we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot to try to cram in 2 hours, but we've actually got our featured guest waiting right now. We're going to go and get to him at this point in time, and then we're going to tackle everything else as we see fit here. So So our guest here tonight, of course, is a second generation wrestler and has actually been in the business about 7 years, and got a chance to meet this individual down at the Cauliflower Alley Club in Las Vegas back about a couple months ago here in late August in the dead heat of Las Vegas, and just nothing but a dry desert heat, but it was just a good time overall at the CAC and good chance to chat with this individual. And we're going to welcome him right now here. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Royce Adams, everybody. And we get that. Well, he's a little small here, but we'll put him here. Hey, Royce, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Man, so Royce is actually we had to kind of reschedule him because some things had come out, and then also at the time we had those treacherous hurricanes come through because Royce is out of the Tampa area, and there's a lot of wrestling legends that are actually down there, along with wrestling guys who are there today. That Tampa is a very popular area for a lot of wrestlers. Royce, when you think about it, even like I think even Gerald Briscoe's down there. I think maybe even Jimmy Hart maybe down there. I think
There's several.
Yeah, there's quite a bit. And, man, it's just. But we're glad that you're here with us now, and glad that you kind of held down that storm. So so how are you feeling this evening, man?
I feel great. Doing all right, man. Thank you. How you doing?
No, I mean we're good. I mean we're always on the go. At least I'm always on the go. I mean literally, it's like about 8 days a week for me these days. And I know Z's taking it easy when he can, because he's got 4 kids, that take up his time. It's like, and even a cat that won't leave him alone when he has to go to the bathroom. So, I see your Snapchat, bro. It's you're not the only one either, man. So
Never.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to go ahead here and get started here. Once again, guys, if you're here watching here, share the show. Make sure you're telling others about it. And we're looking forward to, if you got any questions or comments here for our guests, make sure you put them in there. And we'll definitely see what we can do to point them out here. But I'm going to go ahead and get us started off here. With our first one here, and of course you might have just gotten a sneak peek here. If y'all are wondering about second generation Royce Adams, well, who was the first? Well, here you go. Here's the first making the comparison. That is the one and only Crush from, of course, he went through, and this is Brian Adams, of course, went through many phases wrestling through the major circuits. Of course, I always like Kona Crush. I mean, he was actually my favorite. He was actually my favorite guy. What was it like, Royal Rumble, or whatever? Because he just had the easiest finisher to crush him, and that was it. So,
when he was in WCW as Brian Adams, he was fun too.
Yeah, I mean, like he transitioned after he was done from here, and then of course he went over to WCW and was actually part of the NWO.
Correct.
And then eventually with one of the major big tag teams, forming with Brian Clark with Chronic. And that was an awesome
one of the best big man tag teams in that era, in my opinion.
Man. So kind of starting off here, talking about your father here, Royce. What was your best memory of watching your dad compete inside the ring? And then also, what was your best memory of him with you personally outside the ring when he had the time, when he made time for you, or he got a chance to come home and all that? What did you guys like to do whenever he got a chance to come home off the road?
Well, so for starters, I only seen videotapes of my dad wrestling. I never saw him live or anything like that. The only memories I do have was when I would ride with my parents, and my mom would be the one to drop him off at the airport. And then we would go home and just do whatever while he's gone. And then once we go back to pick him up, that's a good question. Usually when he's around, when he's home, he would just go work out, hang out with friends, or cook up barbecues and stuff. That's one thing I can remember of him. And that, and he always just like loved hanging out with his friends too. Like he had a lot of friends back in the day. Uh, a lot of them I always called uncles too. By the way, like he would hang out with guys like Macho Man, Big Show, even guys like Goldberg too. I think I remember meeting them before, but yeah, but usually that's how it is. My dad would just like work out, cook barbecues, or just hang out with family and friends.
I can just imagine, hey, Uncle Randy, what is it, kid? Yeah. So Uncle Randy and Uncle Bill, and
That's kind of a fantasy of mine. Like that would have been dope living. Yeah, you have the catch-22. I grew up in the music industry versus like you grew up in the wrestling industry. So I had musicians, all kinds of stuff around me. My dad being a sound engineer, and I just walking through, and there's so many artists. Phil Vassar, that guy was like an uncle to me. On the road, he was always around my dad's stuff, and there's so many others. So it's cool to see somebody else have a different perception of that. But you're like, for my nerdism, the pinnacle of what I wish it would have been. Like I could have been like, "Hey, Uncle Randy," and then just got a lesson. Oh man, count a jelly of you.
That's the thing too. I didn't even know these guys were wrestlers. I just thought they were like really big, tough dudes and stuff. Like in Macho Man's case, I just thought he was my dad's workout buddy because as a kid, my dad would like take me with him to the gym and leave me in the kids area and stuff. Him and Randy would go work out and stuff. I didn't know he was a wrestler until I saw him in a video game, and I go, "Hey, that's Uncle Randy right there." Like we'd just meet up and stuff. But Dad would be like, "Hey, Randy, what's up, man?" And Macho will be like, "Hey, brother, what's going, man? How you doing? Hey, little guy, how you doing right there?" "I'm doing good, Uncle. What's up?" Yeah. Fuck that. I'm sorry. That voice, man. I don't know how you can talk like that, but damn, that voice kills me. But yeah. So there's him, guys like Big Show, who I thought was like a big trucker type guy because I didn't know he was a wrestler either. I just thought he was just some giant ass dude that I would see every once in a while. He was freaking huge. His head would almost hit the door frame sometime. But yeah,
I'm sure
same goes with whoever else I saw. I didn't even know they were wrestlers until my dad would tell me, and be like, that makes a lot of sense,
Wow. Yeah, so you didn't really get to see him much on his WWF run, pretty much, because you were too young at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you started coming around more when he was in WCW and the whole NWO, and
Yes.
did Uncle Eric ever make a stop by, or was
Eric
it too?
Bischoff? No, I never got to see him.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a mind I would love to sit down and just listen to his where he messed up and where he could have done better. Because the man has years now in the business that untouched potential, in my opinion, when it comes to like learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, definitely with that, then Uncle Vince, bro.
Okay, beside the point. So with that learning and that knowledge, where did you like decide to initially go get the training, and where did you get the training, and what do you remember most about like your first match, and how long did it get there to your first match? I know that's a loaded question. I'm hitting you.
No, that's cool. It's cool. I don't mind it. I don't mind you asking me that. So let's see. So I always wanted to be a wrestler since I was a kid. Ever since I figured that my dad was doing it, ever since I watched it on TV, see it in the video games, I just looked at it one day and I go, that's what I want to do one day. And so I would say a year or two after I graduated high school, I decided, so I actually know a guy. He's kind of like my stepdad. I told him I want to do professional wrestling, and he reached out, and I started training with this referee named Frankie Reyes. He's this old time referee guy, nice dude, you know, he's all right. And I was training with him for a little bit, but then his school shut down about a month or two during practice. So we reached out to other people, and that's how I started training for with Jay Lethal. You guys know who that is?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's Black Machismo.
one of our
Yeah.
favorites.
Exactly. Yep. So I trained with him for a good while, and let's see, I started training with him. Damn, when did I start training? I think it was like September or October, I think. Because keep in mind, after Frankie's school is shut down, for months I had no way of training. I just didn't know what to do next, so I just continued doing my regular job. And then when I finally started training with Jay Lethal, I was starting to get better and better. And finally, and keep in mind too, I started my very first day of training was back in like I think February or March of 2016. No, 2017. It was during that time when I first started training. I started training again with Jay in I think October or November of 2017, and we're not getting in the ring to wrestle until February of 2018. So it literally took me about a year after the first day of practice to finally get in the ring.
Who was your opponent, and what do you remember most about, like, from training to the first match and putting together the match, all that kind of stuff? What advice, what piece of information made it run smooth or made it not run smooth?
Well, actually, the very first thing I did in the ring was a student battle royale. It was where a whole bunch of newcomers like me went into the ring, just did a whole bunch of Royal Rumble stuff, and that's pretty much it. My first actual opponent, I think it was Aaron Nova. Does that name? Do you guys know who that is?
Vaguely, I've heard it and like read it in books and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think he's the very first guy I wrestled with in a singles match. Yeah, I wrestled him, and it was a good match. I mean, I didn't do much. I just went in the ring, got beat up a little bit, fought back, And the thing is, though, he's kind of a little guy, though, so he's smaller than me, but yeah, I still sold because I'm a new guy. I'm kind of like green, even though I'm way bigger than him. So I mean, I still went over, but then that's when I started feuding with another guy, Buck Quartermain, and that's where kind of where things really kicked off for me, where I would start wrestling more frequently, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, usually I like to consider, like you said, battle royals are pretty good. I guess kind of get your, kind of get your feet wet, so to speak. And actually had a couple before they officially gave me my first official match where I actually squared off. Working with other guys. Usually after about 4.5 months of training that I had, but of course I was going 3 times a day, and I was, if people have watched the show already know my history, how I bumped on a 2-inch polyurethane foam laying on grass out in the backyard, and I was bumping on that, so I had nothing really to give. So I was, yeah, like I said, the ring felt really good once I took my first bump. So I was kind of relieved at that. Yeah. So, yeah. So where was? Oh yeah, because I got the next question, of course. Yeah. So only really a handful of wrestlers, who get into the business, especially here in the U.S. or even outside of countries here. Some of them do have a chance to travel internationally, and of course wrestle outside the U.S. Living here, but you have had that opportunity. So, which countries have you traveled to compete in, and kind of describe the atmosphere of the fans at these shows? Like, were they really hot, or were they sitting on their hands, or just how's that atmosphere when you went to these countries?
All right, so I went to So I've only been to two other countries to wrestle. I've been to Jamaica and Germany. So Jamaica was the first country I wrestled in outside of the U.S. and it was well, the environment was nice actually. It kind of reminded me a lot of Hawaii, believe it or not. It was nice. The venue was on a beach, and there weren't too many people there. There was like a good, decent, like a handful of people who showed up, and they were pretty cool. They actually liked me a lot, believe it or not. I don't know how or why because I beat up one of their local guys, but hey, it's whatever. and and I mean, I don't know if they're really into the show, but like I said, they were happy to see me because whenever I meet these fans in person, they would be like, "Yo, Grasha man, what's going on, man? Would you like a smoke a thing?" I'm like, I'm good, thank you. You know, that's what they called me over there too. They called me Crusher because I guess the promoter knew who my dad was and got creative. Yeah, I remember how he introduced me to the ring too, and making his way now from the United States of America, Krasha. You know, freaking playing Bob Marley music as I'm going down the ring to the, yeah, real good environment. There's actually a crazy story that goes on after that, uh, but yeah. Anyway, so the crowd there was pretty nice. The second country I went to, Germany, it was pretty good too. We went there during November though, so it was chilly as hell, and everyone was wearing like freaking overhead coats and stuff because it was what like 30 some degrees over there.
Ooh, ooh, no, that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not the best time to go, but hey, hey, a job's a job, right?
So before I get into my next question,
What's
going
up?
along with this, since you've traveled and did that kind of stuff, Skylar over here is asking who may be one of the biggest names you've actually wrestled, and to add on to it, did you learn anything from them when you're like, wrestling them? Did they give you any good advice on how to better yourself in the ring?
Uh, I guess in terms of the biggest name, I didn't wrestle anyone that's mainstream, but the biggest name I would say I wrestled was Buck Quartermain. He's actually kind of like my stepdad, believe it or not, and he let's see, he was actually retired initially when we first met, but then when I told him how much I wanted this, he decided to step out of retirement and wrestle me a little bit, and he pointed out this and that. One thing he told me to work on is intensity, and that's actually something I still need to work on. But yeah, because I always want to make sure I don't go full strength because I tend to be a lot stronger than I care to admit, and because of that I sometimes get reckless and I hurt people sometimes, like either wrestlers or I don't know. It's just I always gotta be careful with my strength. But yeah, Buck Quartermain would be the biggest name I've wrestled. Uh, and yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
So,
I've wrestled some other guys that are well known in my area, like Brian Brock. He's a well known name in the Tampa scene.
that sounds really familiar, actually.
Yeah, yeah. He was actually in a tag team called the Dirty Blondes. Him and Michael
Is it?
Patrick. You ever heard of those guys?
I think they've been in like a South Carolina. There's a promotion that I watched down there. I want to say that I've seen both of them guys in that promotion, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't remember the name of the promotion off the top of my head. You know how it is. There's so many damn letters out there. It's hard to keep track, and then you're getting to know these guys. It's starting to open bridges because I'm not far off of you. Actually, I started in 2019 in wrestling and getting in. Now I'm not going the physical aspect that you are, right? I'm not going the wrestler. I got a beautiful mouth that can run and do its best. After that, my size, I'm a teddy bear. I'm a big teddy bear. But so I'm working the flap game, trying to become a great commentator, or even doing this because talking wrestling is my favorite part anyway. With that being said, what kind of advice, stepping away from you said your stepdad in some case, coming back and being one of the big names that you wrestled that gave you advice, what kind of advice could you give to the next generation, or even someone like me who's not far off your start point into it, that you've learned and picked up along the way that kind of stuck with you?
My advice, in my opinion, would just take it easy. Don't rush, because that usually leads to mistakes. Like breathe. Remember to breathe too. Just because when you get in the ring, sometimes you forget what you're doing, because you're surrounded by all these people. You got so much you're trying to remember. The adrenaline kind of kicks in a little. All I can say is, just breathe. Just take it nice and chill, and usually that'll help keep you, get you going through. At least it helps for me. Like every time, because before I get out there, I always get a little nervous and stuff. But once I walk through the curtain and stuff, yeah, all right, I'm here. Let's do this. And I go in the ring, and then yeah, and also have fun too. That's the other thing. That's the other thing I always like to tell people. Go out, have fun, give it your all. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you when I'm, because the adrenaline rush works for a lot of different ways for some people.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's like when I try to get rushed and I try to get the adrenaline, and I know I'm like on deck. I'm getting ready to go to the curtain. Well, all the adrenaline seems to rush to my bladder. It feels like, and I always feel like I gotta hit the job real quick, or else I'm always careful of how and when to drink or pertain to drink, even if it's just water, especially water throughout the day. And because I got a lot of layers I have to take off in order just to do that. So it's a lot of work, man.
God damn it, Ruben.
It's a lot of work. Well, you see my get up, man.
Yeah, you're sealed in pretty tight.
It's funny to say that, because before I go out there, I'm thinking to myself, oh crap, should I use the restroom now? I'm too late. But then you go out there, and when you're done, it's like, all right, well, I feel like I don't have to go anymore, and it's not what you think. It's not what you think either. It's not like I just went out there and just straight up pissed myself in the ring. No, I just don't have the urge to go no more. All right, great.
Dude, one of my favorite moments of that kind of stuff is like, I was nervous to go on because in my home promotion, I got my first talk show, right? Like to sit down, and we were doing We Talk Wrestling Live, and I got so nervous that I had to pee when I left the curtain. So I had to do the whole thing just like, oh God, and I'm nervous. And then I couldn't get the sound guy to hit the button to like make the next cue, because we've been talking now, and I said the same thing like 3 times in different form and fashion, so hopefully the fans wouldn't notice. By the time it was all done, I'm like, I gotta go. Like, leave me alone. Good old times of the nerves getting the best of you. Yeah, slow down and just have fun with it. Like, it's great. Great advice.
Because I have worked some guys where they get a little ahead of themselves, and sometimes I had like sort of like not put them in their place, but to smack them out of it. Be like, hey, come on, man, chill. It's all right. We got this. All right. Oh man, I think it reminds me of one time in a match. I was working this one guy. I kind of forgot his name. We were doing I think it was a tag match. I think, yeah, it was a tag match. Then at one point, I had him in a headlock. I tell him to shoot me off. Take a bump. Shoot me off. Boom, tackle, hit the ropes, drop down. He was supposed to get up and do some kind of move, but instead of getting in position, he just stands right in the middle of the ring, looks at me, he goes, "I'm sorry." And I'm like, oh shit. So I quickly just get him in a headlock, take over. He's apologizing to me. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay, don't worry, we got this. It's all good. And something else afterwards. I forgot what we did next, but but thankfully I covered for him, and it was his first match too, so I wasn't too hard on him. He even like apologized so many times after the match. Dude, I'm so sorry I froze up on you, man. I'm like, dude, it's fine, chill, man. It's wrestling, man. Stuff can happen, you know. So
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
them jitters will get you though.
yes, they will.
What were you gonna say, Ruby?
I was gonna say I would have done it differently here. If he's like standing in the middle of the ring saying I'm sorry, I'm like, yeah, me too, and I just knock him down with a clothesline that I take over. It's like, hey, we'll have to work something else out.
I mean, that's one of the great things about professional wrestling is there's a level of mastery in improv that is bar none than any other like genre of entertainment, in my opinion. Like there's improv is built for professional wrestling, and professional wrestling is built for improv, in my opinion.
I mean, I was always told whenever something happens, just grab a head, grab a hold or something, and then continue from there. That's what I was told. Anytime a screw up or hiccup happens, just grab a hold and then carry on from there. And that's exactly what I did right there. I listened to what my trainers told me, and boom, and it worked.
Well, then in that case, you did the right thing. So.
And on top of that too, it made me feel more confident as a wrestler too, because I now know that if a mistake ever happens, I got the confidence to be able to cover it and move on. So it kind of benefited me in a way, believe it or not. So that's why I wasn't too. That's one reason why I wasn't too hard on him, because I was like, you know what, I think I needed that moment to help me feel confident that in case I ever screw up, So.
Ooh, I like that. I like that positivity.
Yep. So yeah. Yep.
You got to get that experience to know what it's like in order to know how you're going to either if it turned out good or what you can improve from it. Just about like anything else, pretty much.
Oh, absolutely. So, absolutely.
My goodness. Yeah. So now as far as I know that we've talked about, the name that you wrestled here, but I'm going to kind of go to a different area here.
Okay.
As far as, well, first off, let me tackle Scalar here because he's around the Midwest like me. I mean, I wrestled in 9 states in the Midwest throughout my career. Oh, and yeah, he's around Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois. You're mainly around Florida and Georgia, pretty much, right?
Well, so yeah, pretty much. I was like, yeah, mostly Florida, really.
Florida.
Yeah, I have been up to Georgia a couple of times, and I think I've been up to Alabama a couple of times too. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, pretty much the Southeast.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. So Southeast region, with that. So, yeah, but there's always room for opportunity for that. Now, I mean, so with your time that you've had so far to date, what would you consider the best match that you've had, and who it was against, and what consider that to for you personally, do you feel that it's your best match that you wrestled to date?
Oh man, I would say it's really hard to say which match is my best because I always got to think this and that. But one of the best matches that comes to mind as of late would be when I was in Germany and I wrestled Bad Bones. This German guy. You ever heard of him?
I don't know. I'm gonna
Can't say I have
to look him up.
You know what I'm talking about, Mister?
No. No, I said I can't. It does not ring a bell.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said. No. Well, anyways, so Bad Bones, or I think his name was John Duringer. I think that's his name. He was the guy that I wrestled when I went to Germany, and he was a great guy. Very great worker. I think he was like on an American promotion at one point. He may have been on TNA at some point. I think I have to double check on it, but yeah, it was my first match in a while too, because this is when after COVID was happening, right? This was like in November of 2022. So, and I had only just started kind of like getting back into wrestling. My body was kind of, I would say, rusty, and I was kind of nervous as hell because I hadn't wrestled for months. The last match I had up at that point was in June or July or something like that, and so we had a singles match, and it was good. I was the heel, he was the face, and we talked in the ring. We did a lot of good stuff. At one point, I even got out of the ring, and Lanny Poffo was actually at the show. Lanny Poffo was there, and I remember grabbing him by the collar. I was like, you want some of this? You want some of this? Huh? Come on, get some. Yelling at him and stuff. And then, sure enough, Bad Bones would just give me like a sledgehammer from behind, throw it back in, and carry on the match. And yeah, uh, it was a great show and stuff. And it's yeah, that's all I can say. Pretty much.
I do know who Bad Bones is. He worked Gut Check, the first Gut Check on
Yeah,
TNA. TNA Gut Check.
I think so. Yeah.
Had a couple matches with Samoa Joe. I had a really, supposedly, because it never got aired, but a dark match with Christopher Daniels that was supposedly really good, according to what I just read. But I do remember you on the Gut Check now.
Yeah. He.
Got to do that research while you're going.
Yeah. One thing though about that show was shortly after the Germany show, it would be like just a few months later that Lanny Poffo would unfortunately pass. Like I don't know, I don't know if you guys know about it, but yeah, he passed just a few months after that show, and I was really sad about it because he was kind of like a friend of the family. Like my folks knew him from years ago, and he had nothing but nice things to say about my match. He was a real great guy too. I could even tell a little small story about how when I was changing in the locker room and stuff, all the other wrestlers were gathering around him. He was sitting down wearing that cap and gown gimmick that he always had on, and because he was the genius, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And he would sit down and he would give them advice and stuff, man. And I was looking over there, and I'm like, damn, it looks like he's teaching class or something right there. Look at that.
He's teaching class.
It really did. Everyone was like gathering around him like kids and stuff. Grown ass dudes and gals were just gathering around like it was like they were just attending, Sunday school or something. I'm like, what in God's name is going on here?
Well, I mean,
I would have been one of those people gathered around. Teach me.
because I've seen where legends have been in the locker room, and the legends would sit, and actually there would be a small congregation of the workers that would just sit around and kind of even talk about their experiences, or even have questions, to pick their brain, pick their mind. So, I mean, and that's basically what they're there for, if they're there to make an appearance and if they're going to hang out all night, I mean, they're going to be in the back. What better opportunity to do that? I can tell you several times down in SICW that's happened, with the legends coming down, that we've had there in the past, I think what was it, last year or maybe earlier this year. Yeah. So last year, I think Dutch Mantel had a chance to come down, like I said, and we've had, or even just recently, where we had a big show in St. Louis where Tito Santana came down, and then of course Brutus Beefcake was there, and then also Buff was there. And of course, we saw Buff back in August here again. It was kind of fun because
that was a great conversation.
Yeah,
I got to meet him too, actually.
Yeah, got to see him again. Right before the show, and And he didn't say my name, but because I was down there, because we talked a little back in Vegas, but then when I saw him again, he was like shocked to see me, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool to see,
Right.
I got that face that people remember for some reason, or for for whatever. But no, it's awesome, to get a chance to pick their brains, especially the guys that have actually who kind of, I wouldn't say kind of, but definitely paved the way to try to make the industry better, and that's what as the guys that are in my generation are trying to do that here. We're trying to pave the way for the newer guys that are in there. So, like I said, I'm 28 and a half years into the business. How much longer, we'll see. I usually give myself we'll give it 2 and then we'll see. I'm at that. Let's give it 2 years and then we'll see, and then maybe we'll go another 2 years after that. I don't know, but we'll see. But it's I've been here since '96. It's I've seen a lot in my time. So, but I'm very happy to do so. I'm very happy to experience all I've had. I mean, especially with the experiences I've had, and you just don't take it for granted. Never take anything for granted that you get an opportunity to do. That's all I will say. If you get that opportunity and if it works out, then go for it. So
yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
We got a funny guy in here tonight.
Yeah, I'm a new guy to visit. I appreciate it. Very funny, Tex. Very funny.
He's a young and spry athlete.
Yeah.
I saw him doing front flips off the rope the other night.
You must have saw a stunt double. I don't see him doing that.
Wait,
Dude, that'd be the scariest thing, seeing Texan come off the top rope doing a 450.
Yeah, a 380-pound guy doing a 450. I'm sorry, count me out of that.
That would be the craziest thing. I'm pretty sure Vader did moonsaults, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Vader's.
Shit.
You know what? Actually, I'd put Texan in there with Vader as one of the great big man for sure, because Texan reminds me a lot of Vader sometimes.
Nice.
We appreciate you too, Mr. Herb Simmons.
And we're going to talk about big men real quick. Let's not forget about Mr. Bam Bam Bigelow.
That's easily one of the best.
He's definitely in that category. So
I just remember him in that outfit of his and the tattoo hair style he had going on.
Yeah, exactly. He had that whole skull tattoo and flames all over his freaking body gear.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself memorable one way. I mean, he made himself memorable for many ways, not to consider his arsenal and his agility that he had as a big guy that he had. For that build, nearly 400 pounds and still moving the way he did, that was impressive. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
So even though you were young into your career, I'm one of the biggest Mark fans that are in the business today. I will state it. I don't care. I don't. My name is Zmiz for a reason, because I am that big of a fan of that man. That's what my friends gave me. My friends gave me that name, and it's because of my love. So with that being said, one of my favorite wrestlers came out of the big worlds of WWE and wrote a list of his bucket lists to do within the business. And this is a question I like to ask new guys and old guys too. What are some of your bucket lists of this business, and what do you want to get out of it, my dude?
My bucket list? Does work for the WWE count as my bucket list?
100%. Yeah. Put it in there. There's also little steps. That's a big goal. What's your little steps to get there? Like, who do you want to check off of names that might...
What?
Like, okay, you know how Cody came out and checked off that he wanted to wrestle this guy, he wanted to wrestle this guy, he wanted to wrestle this guy. Who are those bucket list matches? One. So if you want to do
like match types, even
TLC match, that kind of stuff. If you want to do a death match, we're not a fan of those, but I still respect the guys that do it. Like, you knock yourself out.
Maybe
If
not
you have
really.
opponents that you want to fight, who's your bucket list, my good man?
Well, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy, but I always did want to work a cage match of some kind.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes.
A cage match, because you'd be surprised what you can do in a cage match, whether it's a traditional or hell in a cell, or or even something outlandish like the elimination chamber that WWE's got going on.
Oh God, that thing is brutal.
And
I
it's
mean,
something we are both happy they brought back.
yeah.
I
I mean
remember when I
that.
first saw that. I remember when I first saw that in a WWE video game. I go, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
I almost want to reach out to touch it real quick because I'm like, is this even real? Guys in domes waiting to beat the bejesus out of each other?
Yeah. Why don't you ask some of the guys that took the bumps on those steel grates? I mean,
I mean, I've taken bumps on concrete floors and tables that are not supposed to break, so I can already relate to that. Oh yeah, it's true, man. I got suplex on those sturdy ass tables that audience members sit at, and it's not supposed to break. But when I landed, a freaking sound of a shot, like a gunshot, just went off. I remember seeing people peeking their heads out of the curtains because they thought someone got shot. They're like, "Oh my god, what happened?" Oh my! They would see me just laying there all passed out. Ah.
Okay, so we got a match now. We got a match. Who's a wrestler that you would like to lace up and get in the ring with?
Oh well, in that case, I guess the Undertaker, and not just because of because of the fact he's the Undertaker, but this one's kind of
Personal.
well, yeah, because I don't know if you know this, but he was a really good friend of my dad back in the old days, uh, and let's see, and he's always anytime he's around, he's always been like that real cool dude. So yeah, let's see. It's when it comes to wrestling, guys that I really want to wrestle the most, it's usually my uncles. You know what I'm saying? Guys like him, or even Big Show. I hear he's still wrestling these days, believe it or not. So
You wrestling Big Show would be funny just because of the story that you said about
oh,
him.
he's
yeah.
this podcast. He's gonna call me by number. Hey kid, I heard you want to fight a match with me or something. It sound good? I'm like, is this gonna involve me going through a table or the whole ring? Maybe. I mean, so yeah.
Okay. If you did get a fight Big Show,
Oh,
would you be willing to go through the ring?
if the boss demands of it, then sure. I mean, I honestly don't know what goes into Mr. Khan's head though, but
Well, none of us do. None of us do.
Maybe his nose, but
Yeah, I don't know, man. When it comes to AEW and their shows, I mean, I see them having what it takes. In fact, I do see the potential of them truly rivaling WWE if they haven't already. But at the same time, though, it's like they're still kind of new. WWE's been around for decades, so it's plus the Feds, as people call them, is under new leadership ever since Vince stepped down. So it's like I don't know. It's a real tricky pill to swallow there. But all in all, though, yeah, I guess working potential match with Mister Show or no more BS as he's calling himself these days. Yep.
right.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, did you put this up there? Did you put this up there yet? Who wants me? Nobody wants me. Nobody.
We want Ruby. I come here every week to get Ruby.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I worked 2 cage matches in my career, and if I get a chance to do it again, that would be totally awesome. If I do get a chance to do a match type again. But yeah,
I've put up 3 cages and I refuse to do it again.
Speaking of cage matches, I remember I wasn't wrestling. I was working security, but there's this funny story about a promotion where a cage match. So here's what happened. So I was working security, a cage match. It was like a tag team match. It was happening inside of a cage, and then it was like a hardcore match too, because weapons were being used and stuff. All hell was breaking loose. When finally the guy when the pin was made, the ref was yelling. He's like, "Ring a bell." No bell sound. Ring the bell. We're looking. We're like, we can't find the bell. Where is it? He's like, he goes up to the cage. I said, ring the goddamn bell right now. We don't know where the bell is. We're looking everywhere, we think someone may have stolen it. We all thought it was this really tall dude that stole it. And while we were looking too, this husky dude, he was eating, drinking, like he started, just puking all over the place too. Like, so you see? Oh no, he's sick. Oh god. So we're scrambling, looking for a damn bell. Someone's puking up all over the place. A fight breaks out too because one of the security guys may have pissed off an audience member. He just shoves him in the back. He goes, "Hey, come on, man, apologize." And screw you. Pulls him around, just swings a punch at him, and then we had to break them apart. And everyone's like, "What the hell is going on here?" The promoter got so pissed he ended up getting drunk over it because he was
the Band-Aid that fixed everything.
Like, I even remember asking him too. I was like, "So, sir, how's your evening going?" "Well, to put it simply, young man, I had a bell stolen, some fat ass drunk puked all over the venue. A huge fight broke out. Now I think I got a lawsuit on my case, man. I lost my glasses. I don't know what's gonna happen now, but I'm doing all right though. How are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, sir, given the circumstances, I think I'm doing all right. Yeah."
That's crazy, man.
It was a stupid situation, man. Just chaos happening everywhere. I think it was also because there were the free drinks too. I think we had free beer given out too, and people would, how that goes, man. When people get their free booze and stuff.
That is a recipe for disaster. You do not give out free alcohol at a wrestling show, bro, because then you're going to get somebody who's going to act like Superman wanting to soar over the guardrails and try to be part of the show. I've seen it 3 times happen in one town, and that's for cheap beer because, well, the town wasn't really that. It wasn't really that prominent to begin with.
Yeehaw, Natty Light.
Right. Like Keystone Light, freaking, well, like Milwaukee's Best Light. I mean, those guys. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Like, there you go, Tex. Yeah, sign me up. Free drinks and wrestling. There you go.
Tex. As long as I'm with you, hanging out, I'm in.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, well, because we all know that. We all get a little something in our systems, a little alcohol. If we get a little goofy, we get a little stupid, and sometimes we get that way, even on the show when we're freaking totally stone sober. At least I do anyway, because that's my life.
Totally stoned, yeah.
Well, stoned and sober, okay. So I'm the sober part, so... With that being said here, though, we are actually, before we get into the tail end of this interview, we think that you'll get a kick out of this here, Royce, as far as Liquid Courage, right? As far as taking a little bit of some of artwork here, I would say picture artwork that we like to kind of put into a funny frame. That's right, everybody. We are here to do this once again. It is time for Wrestling's Gold Memes, everybody. Awesome. We got a good set here for you this week here, and it's kind of funny how we're talking about your uncle uncles here because we actually got one of your uncles here tonight, starting off here. When 7-year-old me, after getting my paper crown from Burger King, right?
Oh boy! All hail the king, man.
I always asked for those, like when I was a kid.
Oh,
Going to
fact.
Burger King.
Fact. It's the only reason I wanted to go to Burger King 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's was like, man, can I get the paper crown? They still have them, I think, don't they?
I remember elbow dropping my sister in a Burger King ball pit. I don't know if I had the crown on, but I'm just saying I do know I elbow dropped her in the ball pit.
Man. Well, yeah, so I saw this and I'm like, yeah, that's probably about me acting overall after getting my crown and acting like a fool after I ate my meal. I was a good boy. I ate my food. And then have we? I know that I've come across this. I'm sure you've come across this, Royce, and even Z has seen this as well. But wrestler makes a tiny mistake, and here's the fans saying, "We can't wrestle."
Sorry, Douglas O'Shea.
I just like the guys where he's got like a half drunk beer and freaking messing himself with chips.
Do you know how I finally got my start on the commentary booth?
How?
So RCW was doing a show up here in Quincy, and it was a double feature. Right, there was 2 different cards, but it was a double feature. They were having two shows, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. So my son and I went to both of them, and we're sitting there the first card, and Douglas O'Shea, who is a mentor of mine and a guy that I truly cherish in this business and I'm very thankful for, was wrestling and goes into a side headlock on the ground. And I yell, "It's a rest hold. He can't breathe." And I made Doug break. And so he's laughing, and then Frank, rest his soul, great man, came up and goes, "All right, Z, we're going to put you up here with me." And I did commentary the second show because I made Doug break character and start laughing. I don't say go out there and do that for everybody because it doesn't work, but that's how I entered the business.
And let's see. Well, our next one here. If you're at a front row show during the Attitude or maybe in the Ruthless Aggression era for a certain individual, what fans in the front row look like after watching Triple H's entrance.
Shaq makes it so much better.
It's so much worse when it's during COVID too.
No, the COVID one was awesome. Where he came out with the bottle, and then like the stage crew took the bottle and all that kind of stuff before he could take a drink. Man, COVID era of professional wrestling is way better than people give it credit for.
I still don't like the Thunderdome.
Shut up, dude. There are so many things so good about that, and people are just like, "Oh, it's stupid. There's no fans."
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of freaking.
I agree. I like that we got fans now back in the places. Fans can go to local shows, all that kind of stuff. Royce Adams can get seen down there in Tampa again. Like, I love that for everybody, but I'm just saying there was something very elegant about the COVID era of professional wrestling.
Well, from my point of view, the COVID thing kind of really messed things up horribly for me. I mean, it wasn't too crazy, but let's just say it. Oh my God, so much crazy stuff happened. I remember I was supposed to go to a show during during the early onset of COVID, but I don't know if you remember this, but you remember the George Floyd incident that happened?
Yes, I do.
So you know how there were riots that happened during that time, right?
Yep.
So I was supposed to go over to Orlando to work a show, right? But I think a night or two before that is when the riots happened close to where I lived. And because of that, they had a curfew set up where you were caught anywhere outside of your house or on the premises after a certain hour, you're going to get basically arrested. And because I had nowhere to stay, I had to tell my booker, listen, man, I'm sorry, but I can't leave unless I want to risk getting arrested for violating curfew. So, good luck with the show, man. Cheers. Click.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was going to get pulled over and pay a $500 fine. Screw that. Or
Right.
or do time. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna risk going all the way to Orlando to wrestle for peanuts and just come back home and get my ass taken to prison. I'm sorry, man. I love the business, but not enough where I'm just gonna get, pulled over for something stupid like a curfew violation. It's just, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, that aspect of the COVID era sucked. I do agree. So,
Absolutely.
But I will say this: the Thunderdome idea was interesting. It was a very, very weird but interesting idea. It almost felt like we just took a step into the future of entertainment. Like freaking. You imagine they replace people with monitors and stuff forever? Weird.
No, that was video game, bro.
Yeah.
That's exactly what my mind tuned into. I'm like, I'm just playing a video game now.
Yeah.
At least we got a new stage for the WWE games now, right?
Right.
Oh, great. Yeah. I'll never use it. So, good for them, though. Oh, man. Well, let's go into our next one here. This is kind of recent with part of this, but remember the old Mr. Captain Planet here, Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson?
One of my favorite titles that ever got made.
Yeah, that ergonomic title, whatever that is, with the
the eco title.
Yeah, the eco title.
Did you know it's also one of the most expensive titles that was created?
Yeah.
I remember hearing a lot of people talk smack about that title. Hey, look, it's a belt made out of hemp. I'm like, oh my god, no.
Dude, it was great. It worked. It worked for his character. That's what made it so awesome. Brian was on another level then.
Yeah, he hated plastic back then, but then he had to come face to face with it recently with
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's so wrong, bro. And I love it at the same time.
Did he choke him out with that shit? Oh my god.
Yeah, so John Moxley turned on Daniels and choked him out with a bag.
Yeah, a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's still
legal in AEW's wrestling matches, huh?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, come watch AEW Collision. We'll have at least one scene of attempted murder here for you.
It's crazy over there.
Oh man,
I can't say that's considered a PG thing anymore. That's just
yeah.
That's definitely rated R type stuff right there, man. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, but it sells tickets, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. For who? Maniacs.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, with that in mind, we'll do one other one. I guess we're gonna call this one "Caught in the Act" with our last one here, where the cameraman is focused on the shot, just not with the camera.
Oh my god!
I can't blame you.
Where's that lens, bro? Where are you shooting?
Oh, Tiff.
Good old. I thought he was staring at Nia at first, but I was like, no, he's staring at Tiff.
It's all Tiff.
Oh my goodness! So it's gonna finally do a little bit of a funny sequence here for you, but yeah, brother, caught in the act, and it's all over the internet, my friend.
Exactly. That's literally how it goes these days. You get caught in the act. It stays on the internet.
It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
It might as well engrave it onto your tomb or something,
Yeah, yeah, well, people have had it worse. So, but
Oh yeah.
I'm sure. Like, hey, man, eyes, eyes. But that's it for our wrestling's gold memes here, and um, so with our, at least I've got the last question here for you,
What's
all
up?
right, here. So, what would be the ultimate takeaway that you would want from the professional wrestling personally for you? And how would you want the fans to remember you when they see Royce Adams, either at a show and then with the done of the show? How would you like to be remembered by the fans after a show?
Uh, hmm. I guess I want to be remembered as the man who defied the odds. Someone who, when he was a kid, felt like he had everything until a tragedy struck, and then after years of self wondering and self discovery and all that, I finally, found my true calling, made a great go at it, and yeah, I guess you could say that I'm someone that tried to make a great go at things despite the odds and just kept on fighting till the very end.
I like that.
Oh yeah. So I mean, so if I
I'm sorry,
remember,
was that too like would you want something specific or
no. I mean, no. That's perfect. That's fine. I
okay?
mean, yeah. I mean, that's good for me. I mean, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. As far as like, I mean, compared to your father, I mean, because your dad was tall. Well, he was like what, 6'6", wasn't he?
6'6", 6'7", yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. I was gonna say probably 6'8" with his boot lifts, but
Probably.
but still a tall guy, man. I mean, still a tall guy. So, um, but no, no, we're no, but as far as you know, I mean, we always like the generational guys that come in. They want to carry out the next generation of wrestling, and then uh as far as trying to make a name for themselves, because I'm sure, I mean, would you like, I mean, because you try to step out of the shadow, right? Because you're not exactly, his size. So you're just trying to find a way to uh, like you say, so you try to defy the odds as far as that you can overcome pretty much anything that's put in front of you, pretty much, right?
Yeah, as best as I could, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's good to to carry on that lineage, and you even you even have now. Did you have gear made, kind of like copied of what he wore? With with the crush.
Nope,
Uh,
that's actually his gear.
oh, so it is his. So it's actually his actual gear.
Yep, the picture that you put, with me in it next to my dad, that's one of his old gears that he wore.
Nice.
Uh, yes. So, so where are we going to see the Kona Crush gear? That's what I want to see.
Unfortunately, that gear is it's a
Ah,
little, yeah, it's seen better days. Basically, it's kind of worn out. Some of the gear survived, and some few of it actually can still be worn as you see me wear it before. But there are other bits of gear he had, like his chronic gear, for example. That stuff's not
yeah.
wearable anymore. Like all that plastic leather stuff, it's like peeling away. It's like, in fact, as soon as you touch it, it just rubs on your fingers. I'm like, oh god, it's like grease.
Oh God.
Exactly. It just falls apart. And
Uh,
I even have his old demolition mask. You want to see it real quick?
oh my god.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. I, how am I forgetting this? It's like,
Yeah, he
it's
was.
like,
He was. Yeah, he was part of
oh my
Demolition. He was the
god,
third guy.
that is badass. Love it. I loved the whole demolition mask coming down. I love the spikes. The demolition look was freaking outstanding. For
What's funny is it took me a long time to get where all the whole idea from too. I always thought the mask was like a Jason mask, but then I realized, well, you ever seen Mad Max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Vince got the idea from?
I would think so, because there's a movie called Mad Max 2, and the main bad guy is called Lord Humongous, and he literally looks like he could be a member of Demolition, complete with the mask and the freaking chest straps that he had on.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's where Vince got the idea behind it and was to make his own Road Warriors, basically.
Yeah, he had like two different kinds. There's Demolition, which was where my dad was in, and then there's Road Warriors or the Legion of Doom,
Right.
Hawk and Animal. And those are the guys that wore the shoulder pads with the spikes on them. And I ain't gonna lie, those are actually more, in my opinion, more cooler than the straps. I'm sorry, you can do so much more damage with spiked shoulder pads than you can with whatever the hell those guys had on.
Yes. See my knowledge.
Hey, you have the shoulder tackle, so I'd rather do it with spiked shoulder pads than the freaking bondage straps they had on. I'm sorry, man. We ain't gonna go far with those.
They did wear bondage straps.
That's what those were, man.
They literally were. Liv and Rhea once told a story about how that they needed some new gear because their gear didn't get finished. So that's what they did. They went to an adult store and got pieces to fix their gear to add to another gear to make new gear kind of thing when they were a tag team. So I don't put it past Demolition in them. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, that.
They were a dope tag team, though.
To be fair, a lot of weirder gear has been worn in the past. So, frankly, I'm not surprised. First that comes to mind would be Gold Dust when it comes to weird gear.
That's beyond weird.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of someone with the most outlandish looking gear or gimmick, that's him, straight off the top, man. I even remember seeing pictures of him coming out with, and I can't believe I'm saying this online.
Yes, the neon green stuff when he had the pink wig. That's automatically what my mind went to too.
That gag he had in his mouth.
The ball.
I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? I thought this was the kids, man. What's
was
that,
it Kitty? Man? Who was with him? It was Tori, I think. Had the whip, like the dominatrix whip.
Who with Goldust?
Yeah.
I thought he had. I mean, after Marlena left, he had Luna.
It was Marlena. It could have been Louis Vuitton. That sounds about right.
Vuitton, when he went to the artist formerly known as Goldust, and
he
did the whole.
Yeah.
That was Luna that he was with.
Yeah, Luna. My bad.
Yeah.
Not neon green.
I mean,
watch with that neon green stuff, man. I was gonna say, not me, bro. Y'all better watch it. Shoot.
So I mean, apart from Jamaica and Germany, though, like when I went to Alabama, that was a pretty good time. I remember we went up to Dothan, Alabama. I think that's where it was.
Yeah,
it was actually. I forgot the name of the promotion, but it was where Bullet Bob Armstrong. You remember him?
Yes.
Yeah. We've Bullet Bob. Yeah, I mean the Armstrongs are in Alabama, pretty much. I believe.
Yeah.
So there too.
I remember when we went up to this promotion, this building that we were going to work at, the venue. The promoter. I remember hearing him coming outside, and he gave off, and keep in mind, we're like in a very wooded area. It kind of felt like we're in the Hicks or something like that. We're out in the boonies or whatever, and we're at this warehouse venue, right? And he comes outside, and he just makes his announcement. It goes something like this. He's like, all right, guys, thank you very much for showing up. I appreciate this. Just so you know, this area we're in right now, it is notorious for body parts turning up. And I'm like, whoa, what? There's a documentary about this that is featured on Netflix. You can probably find it right now. You probably can't. Who knows? But this is usually where they find the parts of missing people. Anyway, so don't wander out too far or you might find something yourself. Have a good time and stay safe. And I'm like, he goes away. I'm like, wait a minute. What? I'm looking at my buddies. I'm like, guys, are you sure this is good? I'm like, oh, I'm getting the hell out of here. That's like one of my dudes, pack this stuff up trying to leave. I'm like, dude, don't go nowhere. You're on damn ride home. What am I supposed to do? I'm like Christ.
Well,
Yeah, it was a good show. I gotta see. I remember Bullet Bob himself. I think I said hi to him. I remember he worked a match against some guy named the Assassin, I think, and he worked pretty well. I didn't really see much of the match. I was too focused on what I had to do because that's just how it was. Until my match is over, I'm not really focused on anyone else's matches until my stuff's out of the way. So yeah. But all in all, though, it was a good time. Though, thankfully, no one went missing that night.
So if go to William Adams here real quick. Where can our fans find you and stuff when it comes to promotions in the Tampa area?
All right, so in Tampa specifically, well, I'm trying to think of the wider area, but in Tampa specifically, there's like not that many promotions and stuff, but like just outside Tampa, like say St. Pete or Richie, I do work for promotions like Tampa Bay Pro, which is located in Pinellas Park or Pinellas County. Even though they're called Tampa Bay Pro, they don't do shows in Tampa no more. It's more like in St. Pete. There's them, and then there's also WWN Proving Grounds. You ever heard of them?
Ooh, yes, actually I have.
I do shows for them usually on Fridays, and that's where you usually find me at these days. Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't they usually do like shows every Friday night down in that
Yeah.
area?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I was trying to do some research on that, and
Yeah.
sometimes so I think they try to do a show every Friday night. So
Yeah, they do.
well, cool deal. So will you be in action then on this coming Friday then?
I do not know. They haven't posted up the match cards yet. They usually post a card up like I'd say on a Monday or a Tuesday, several days in advance usually. And after that, they would just post online saying, "Okay, whoever's available for this, let us know," and then we'll just be like, "Okay, click."
Yeah, very good question. Do you have any of your matches on YouTube or any other platform where people can watch your matches? Do you know if you have any of your matches posted?
I actually do. There are actually a lot of matches of mine on YouTube. Just keep in mind, though, it's like they're not the best quality matches. Like they're definitely not like WWE quality stuff. Like where it's always like everywhere around here. It's more like in a still spot, and a lot of the matches too are when I was like green. Like I still have a lot to work on, but some of my earlier matches, I'm like, oh God, no! I wish I could have changed that. Oh Jesus! I can't believe I missed it. So you'll find a lot of my matches on YouTube. Yes, just look up Royce Adams wrestling. You should find a lot of the links on there. Yeah.
All right. Hey,
And don't sell yourself so short. It's called an art form for a reason because you'll improve, my dude.
I know. It's just I'm always like self-critiquing and stuff. I try to, I'm not trying to sell myself short. It's just sometimes I'm like, it's like self-critiquing. You see something in there you wish you could change. And I mean, all I can say is all I can do is improve upon it. But yeah, appreciate that though.
Yeah, I guess one statement that I'm sure you can agree with is that when it comes to us wrestlers, we're always our own worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think when you go and go to the bathroom, if your stuff don't stink, then get then get out, because I mean, we're not all perfect in this business. We always have a learning curve. Always got something to learn, no matter how long we've been in it. And like you said, if you think that you're above all and you don't make a mistake, then you
Mm.
need to get out now. So
Yeah, that's the thing. I can never be that kind of guy. Like I can take pride. I can take pride in like seeing good matches and stuff, but I'll never be like, well, cocky, or arrogant. Like I've actually met a couple of guys like that in the indie scene too, mind you. And yeah, I definitely don't see me being that kind of guy. So yeah.
yeah, so yeah. Will you stop, Tex? You are not 5 years in. this guy, this guy is something else.
Oh god dang, I love it.
5 years in. Yeah. Okay, bud. Yeah.
Hey,
Text.
I myself still have much to learn. So shoot.
What is he? What is texting actually going on? Do you know?
I don't know. He's got to be around 20 years.
He's one of my favorite minds to sit down
Around-
with. I love when I get to an SICW event to hang out and visit with him.
Shoot, in fact, I can tell him that we were actually. Oh, we were wrestling 3 years ago. I was going to say 5 years, but no, we were wrestling 3 years ago. Me and him were in a match, at least in.
He is one of my favorite brains to pick.
Yeah. So do you get? So would you have a chance to travel to other states, or you just pretty much staying in the southeast part, Royce?
I personally don't mind traveling to other states. Do I travel to other states? Well, I have. Well, of course, as you guys know, I have been to Nevada, and
Right.
yeah, I wrestled for the CAC Called in the Ring event.
Nice.
So yeah, I actually did a lot better than I would expect it. Especially when it's something where you don't plan in the back, just completely get randomly picked from whoever, put in the ring and see what you can do on the fly. And I actually did a lot better in that than I expected. I was kind of impressed. Well, I mean, there was a couple screw ups, sure, but people said, you did a great job in there, kid. I'm like,
Yes, this year.
Yep.
so I've been to Nevada, Georgia, and Alabama. I got guys reaching out to me from, I think, Illinois and California. So I might be wrestling in those states pretty soon.
Oh, we might see you up in our home area.
Yeah, so nothing's concrete. Yeah, I have to get the confirmation first because this whole plan thing takes time. But those are my next potential destinations.
Yeah. And that CAC show.
It was the night before you guys got there, correct, Ruby?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, because my flight didn't get into like late, like early Monday morning, because I left out late on. In fact, Tex was on the same flight as I was going there, and yeah, we got there.
So
Pretty
then
early.
the night you guys flew out was the show, correct?
Yeah, the night we flew out was on the show.
So you had flown out the night before their text to.
Yeah, so we had the fly out the night before. In fact, no, I think wasn't there a show we had to be at? I think there was a show we had to be at, like the day before. So, yeah, so I don't know.
Well, we'll find him online and just wait and find out because not concrete yet. Not concrete.
Yeah, it's not concrete yet. We just don't know until we don't like to announce things until they're actually kind of in concrete. If you're in talks, we're not going to announce anything. Pretty much, it's not the smart thing to do. So
say you're in talks with the WWE. People are like, oh my god, is he going to get signed? But then, sure enough, news goes on there and said, nope, sorry, not happening. I'm like, and people are like, shoot.
oh man, shoot. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because there's a lot of parts in Illinois, like you said, SICW is in Illinois, but they're just on the other side of Missouri, So that's why I frequent there quite often, and you get a chance to work there. And so yeah, you just don't know. And in fact, there was another announcement of another promotion opening up in Illinois, but
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah. We could talk about it, but it's like that's the last thing Illinois needs is another wrestling promotion. And
Facts.
this is what happens when you don't have license and regulations. You can just start, as long as you got an insurance policies, then you can run a show. So, you know,
Insurance
yep.
policy. What's that?
Well, you just better hope you don't have an incident. That's what.
Incident? What are you talking about? We're professionals. We don't have incidents under our belts.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I may, but I can't speak for everybody. So I can't speak for everybody. So
yeah, I wish I could, but then I'm gonna get my ass kicked at the next show. So he's on this about us, hey buddy. Boom.
that you just don't know. So do you have like any other? Do you have any upcoming shows that are at least that are solid? Already booked for you, upcoming soon.
Oh
Or
yeah. Like this November, Tampa Bay Pros having another show. They only do their shows every once in a while. I remember years ago when I first started, they would do like two shows, like one show every 2 weeks, I think. But nowadays they do it like a show every once in a while, and the next one's, I think it's on the 5th. Yeah, it's on the 5th. I have to look at the details, but yeah, I should be wrestling for that one.
oh, okay, very good, very good.
There's them, and then there's also the weekly shows that Proving Ground has, where whenever I wrestle on them, I don't always wrestle for them. There'll be times where I don't wrestle because they don't have enough room for me. So I'm like, okay, see you next week then.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, like you're lost. No. And
But
sometimes it's good to get a break, but I have the possibility of working 4 of the 5 Saturdays this upcoming month, and so this is going to be quite a long month for me. So uh, I know 2 or 3 shows I'm totally at least certainly booked on. So well, 2 or 3 for sure. So, but we'll just see. But no, man. Well, like I said, I wanted to thank you for coming on. Like I said, I know it was a good chance to kind of catch up at I mean at the CAC. It was my first time down there. I don't know, was it your first time down there?
it was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like I said, there's nothing like it, man. It's just nothing like the atmosphere there. I mean, gosh, I hated having to go back home, but I wish it was actually longer, but you know.
That proving ground again, Royce. Is it WWN live?
Yes, WWN Proving Ground. I usually look them up on Facebook because that's where you will always get their.
I just subscribed to him on YouTube just now.
Well, YouTube works too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer Facebook though, or Instagram. I always prefer Facebook because I feel like you get the information more properly. And yeah, that's usually where you will find like what's on the next card and stuff, who's wrestling who and all that. So, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean that's like I said, I don't know if you were there, but on what was it Tuesday night or I believe or it could have been I forgot which night it was, Tex, but the midget show that I'd gone to. Yeah.
I heard about that show. Me and my buddy Al were thinking about going, but I'm like, it's already like super late. I'm like, dude, I don't know about you, man, but I'm not gonna stay and watch a whole bunch of midgets beat each other to death, man. I'm sorry. I'm hitting this. I'm hitting the sack.
Hey, don't worry. The show the show was only an hour, so it was pretty short. So
yeah, but it's also past mid. Well, yeah, that's fair. I probably could have gone and have another story.
He's all the way from the East Coast, bro, and there he went like what 3 time zones, 2 time zones.
What's up?
Yeah. He 3 time zones the difference. Yeah.
Oh yeah, going all the way from Florida to Nevada. Yeah. Yeah, my hours are a little messed up, but that's nothing compared to a trip to Japan, though. So,
Yeah, so RVD and Sabu were in attendance, and I forgot who else was in attendance, but but yeah, we
There were a lot of guys. I actually did meet RVD in person, and it's so funny too. I go up to him and I say, "Hey, I tell him, hey, what's up? I'm Royce, and he just said, "Oh, great, that's awesome, cool." And then later on, I think 10, 15 minutes later, we say hi to each other again. It was great meeting you, sir. He's like, "Oh yeah, same with you. By the way, did you say your name was Royce or something?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir. My name's Royce Adams." I was like, "Okay, great. I was just trying to remember." And I'm like, "Sir, I kind of literally just said hi to you like 10 or so minutes ago. Come on now." He was obviously high. I didn't really care. I mean,
sometimes it's like a pop quiz, like what do you learn in class? Oh, that's your name. Okay.
He was
I'm bad with
already
names too, but like, at least, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna talk smack like that. He was obviously high. He's always as high as a kite as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I met guys like him,
Look at me saluting.
Kurt Angle. Yeah, great people, yeah.
Yeah. I can confirm this is true. Yeah, chair shots take brain cells away, and also a good fifth of the night. So
Any impact to the head can take out brain cells, and well, yeah.
yeah. Just don't get hit in the back of your head, man, because
Oh, I know.
that'll yeah that'll stir you for a while before you're able to get back up. So
I'll stir you up forever. Are you kidding me?
sure. Well, I got one earlier, like at the beginning of the year. So
Oh, my bad.
yeah, it's fun. Uh, that's how you got to look at it. But it was fun when I came back though, and I was swinging chairs myself. But I don't, I don't want to maim anybody, like put them out. So just got to carry on because things happen. But no,
Mhm.
man, it's awesome. So Royce Adams, it can be found. Well, you can be found on Facebook, obviously, and is that the only way we can find you on social media? Or
So you can find me on Facebook as Royce Adams, or you can even find me on Instagram as Royce.Adams. Yeah, I know, not creative, I know, but
hey, it's all right.
that's usually it. I mean, I'm mostly on Facebook though, so if ever guys, anytime anyone wants to reach out or hit me up, that's where you'll find me. Mostly on Facebook though. So
Awesome. All right, man. Well, shoot, it was great getting the chance to talk to you, man. Like I said, always reach out. You know how to reach me, and if you know anybody else, spread the word about us here too, because we're always trying to get a good showcase of guys that are working, in business, and we always like to have our sit downs here with guys that are trying to make a name for themselves, or at least trying to keep the business alive. So appreciate you coming on and taking the time, and it was great having to talk with you, and definitely best of luck to you in the future, my friend. So
thank you, buddy.
all right, man. So Royce, thanks a lot, man, and you have a good night. All right.
thanks, man. Same to you guys.
All right, man. Thank you very much, man. So Z, oh, did I do that? Okay. I guess we came down to our singles one here. We actually got we're gonna morph right into we got a lot of stuff, and that was a great interview, man. That was definitely went a lot better than I thought it would. We got a lot of talk. We got a lot of
No, it
good
was fun.
conversation in. That was fun. I loved it, man. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So for y'all who are watching us right now, let's see here. We're gonna go over a couple things around the area, at least shows that we're gonna be at. So let's go get that kicked off here. This coming Saturday night is going to be for SICW back at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds. Main event is going to be the captain's match with Attilicon facing the Night Train Gary Jackson. The cornerman for Attila is Stephen E. And for Gary Jackson is Danny Boy Hawkins. And
Texan, I am never shave, never.
He's killing me, man. But that's this Saturday, Belclair Fairgrounds. Doors open at 6, bell times at 7. You can reserve your seats by calling 618-286-4848. And like I said, that's going to be your main event there. Of course, along with other great wrestling action here. You may see the classic champion Kowalski in action.
Ooh.
And I'm hearing that Big Nasty Glenn Williams may be in action here. Still the Central States champion, I believe. If I'm mistaken, then someone please correct me. And yeah, man, just a great night of action coming up here. Also, sorry, Tex, man. It sucks. I know, man. But hey, I mean, rematches are around the corner, right? Gotta wait till we get to this business with the yeah. And we'll see what happens here. So also this coming Saturday, Illinois Elite Wrestling, that's where Z is usually at. So we got for the IEW title, we got 5-star Jesse J challenging the shooter Jerry Morgan. And then we've got Chris Exodus and Jody Ultra. Man,
this match is going to be awesome. And this match is going to determine the first and 30th man, or the 25th man. So first and last in our Royal Rumble to crown, or hopefully our number one contender, who Justin Poole obviously is now talking crap in the chat about how he won the last man standing match last month. Yes, you did win that. Congratulations, buddy. But he's going to go into the Rumble. He's throwing his name in the hat to get that number one contendership. So he's going to be one of the 25 men in the Royal Rumble.
My goodness, 25 guys. That's going to be quite a bit. And but you can go to Illinois Elite Wrestling.ticketleap.com to go ahead and get your tickets in advance. If not, you'll be paying at the door, which is $15 for adults, $5 for kids between the ages of 6 and 16. Kids 5 and under, I believe, are still free. So that's at the Elks Lodge, Granite City, Illinois. So don't miss that one. And of course, the next one for ACW had a great, like I said, that great super show in St. Clair. Well, we're coming back to Cedar Hill on November 16th. He's gonna throw your name in the half of that Rumble too. It's great.
Please hope I do not get added to that Royal Rumble. Please hope. I'm just.
But American Championship Wrestling, November 16th at the VFW. So One Lynn Lane, Cedar Hill, Missouri. You can get your tickets online at acwtheshow.com or at the door on the night of the show. Front row tickets are $10, and general admission is now back to $6. And we even got the QR code there on the poster. Hopefully that'll work for you. Sometimes not showing the QR code that big can still work. So we'll just see. But I'm not going to do it here because I'm actually not in full screen, and I'll try it out later and just kind of take our name or take our word for it. So take our word for it. So that's what's upcoming here for upcoming shows and our appearances here. If you have anything that you'd like to throw in here in the chat, just let us know. We'll go ahead and mention it in our tags here. So let's like I said, we're going to go ahead and kind of recap here with some big events. Last night was TNA's big one for Bound for Glory, and some big ones here. As far as, will this work? No, that I had to. Oh wait, no, that's a scroll. We'll just do that here. Just to peel these, really. Okay.
That was meant to be sent privately to you.
Oh, okay. That's great. Okay. Well, let's kind of get that down. Okay. Yeah, like I said, and if we get a chance, we'll talk about just basically the big storylines here. But what I wanted, that's a big one here. But let's kind of kind of go over here with the big story here. Let's kind of put this in perspective here. Look at this.
Ah,
There was I was like, man, maybe possibly, but Masha did get a big welcome, a big pop as she came out. Jordan Grace about the same, but I think Masha still had more of the pop though. So Masha dethroning Jordan Grace,
who called it?
and is now the TNA Knockouts champion. And yeah, you did call it. You did call it. I think I was on Jordan's side on that one.
Yeah, you were pushing for Jordan still.
So I will graciously take the loss.
Here's the crazy thing about this: their first match was a hell of a match for not being under like the AEW, WWE spectrum, maybe even the New Japan Pro Wrestling spectrum, right?
Right.
This one, I'm telling you guys right now, if you're hearing this and you've never tuned into a TNA show in recent years and stuff, they are super hot right now and doing some crazy cool stuff. This female match, I would put up and rival any match that Awesome Kong, Gail Kim did. Like these two, like for TNA, okay, for their division, they destroyed it. This was one of the best female matches that I've gotten to sit down and watch in a very, very long time.
This was and this was really tough contest too, and a lot of them pulled a lot of rabbits out of the hat, so to speak. I mean, they had tricks up their sleeve, and they're trying to counter. Which let's note here that Masha kicked out of the Juggernaut driver late in the match when we.
Is she the first person?
First person this year that she kicked out. Some others probably, I'm pretty sure others may have kicked out before, but this was late in the match, and I really thought Jordan had it. I was like, yeah, this is it. And she kicked out just before 3. I'm like, uh-oh. And when that happened, I'm like, oh, something's going to happen here. And sure enough, Masha pulled it out with a snowplow from the top, and then she hit a pile driver, and then that was it. She got the 3. And at least they, this was a gracious hug. So they both, with mutual respect. And so congratulations to Masha, which is now this is actually her second title. At least I know that she may have more championships on her, but in less than 3 weeks, I think on November 15th, GCW is coming into town at Pops, and apparently it's for the JCW championship, where Masha, I don't know if Masha's probably the defending champion, but she's facing Gary J, which if people know the name of Gary J,
that match is flipping phenomenal.
So now you got the TNA Knockouts champion and the JCW champion Masha Slamovich facing Gary J. And I hope she beats his ass. I'm sorry. I hope she whips him.
What is that, Texan? What is
what?
This?
Oh, come on. Hey, boy, oh boy.
Now, this is something that I think might be happening sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
The jump's about to happen.
Yeah, but and like I said, card subject to change, but they also announced Genesis, and like I said, it's kind of sucked. It would kind of suck if Jordan did have to leave, but if she is making her way, she's gonna be good. But oh my god, and we're gonna talk about NXT later on in the program. But if she's heading that way, she's gonna be walking right into a heavy competitive women's division in NXT, bro.
Yeah, and the best.
Not that she can't hang, but man, she is gonna have quite a time. She's gonna have quite a bit on her hands, bro. And then let's talk about another thing here, because we're talking about our triple main events. Of course, we got the results scrolling here. Let's talk about it before we get into the other part of the main event about Rosemary turning on Wendy Chu. I mean,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate here. And you know what? They had the match won, and Rosemary turns on Wendy Chu. And it was Rosemary that pulled she pulled up Jody Threat's shoulders, right?
Right.
So they had the three. She pulled it up, and then she ends up screwing up the match, and Wendy Chu gets beat. And so Rosemary turns on Wendy Chu. So I'm thinking, oh, great. So if worlds collide, then eventually we're going to be seeing hopefully we see a Rosemary Wendy Chu feud. We keep. I mean, obviously, there's still NXT talent coming through. Like I said, Brinley Reese was teaming with Xia Brookside and lost to the Elegance ladies. So it's not Heather Reckless, it's Heather by Elegance now. So yeah. Yeah, I know.
Hair.
Yeah, cat coughing up a fur ball. So yeah, and let's see. Then of course, Josh Alexander defeating Steve Macklin, but that was
a really good match.
That was really good.
That if Steve's been like knocking and hitting the pegs here lately and really making some strides as a solo character for me and a solo entity in professional wrestling, because in WWE he was Sons of Forgotten Sons.
Forgotten Sons. Yeah, no,
he was one of the Forgotten Sons. So seeing him in this realm in TNA, it's taken me a little to warm up to him. But this match here, not to mention that you're in there with Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, easily one of my. We've talked and bragged about him numerous times and how good of a freaking performer that dude is. But Macklin, he stood his ground and looked just as good as a performer that Josh Alexander did. So. Hell of a job, gentlemen.
And we'd be remiss to not discuss the Monsters Ball match for the digital media and the in the International Championship. First thing I want to talk about right now, some of them made me really squeamish, and that was when Matt Cardona shoved thumbtacks into PCO's mouth and closed it. So he made him swallow. We thought the beads were bad from Drew McIntyre's mouth. These are freaking tacks, bro. And
dude, that match was crazy. Like, I never knew people could continue to up the ante that Abyss did with the Monsters Ball. Like, these guys were throwing each other into anything and everything that was bolted down and was not bolted down.
Oh my god! But with the tacks that were up there, and just the tacks in the mouth, and then kicking PCO in the mouth with the tacks in, oh, bro, I had to turn away for a bit. I'm like, oh, that's a little bit too much for me. But PCO did come away with the victory, though, and of course, Steph DeLander was not there. Of course, she just had her neck surgery, so she's going to be out for quite a while. And so, be interested to see what's next for both of those gentlemen. But
can we mention one more thing before we go back to the triple main event? Okay.
Yeah.
One of our guests made a special appearance.
Thank you.
And I hope it's not a special appearance. I hope this is a sign of good things for Rohit Raju, because I would love to see him back in TNA because he made the X Division so good in the COVID era. What? Oh, what's up, Mr. Crush?
Yeah, Crusher Koloff here with the saying what's up.
But so seeing Rahut was in the Rahit in the battle royale was what was it, call your shot gauntlet match? Yes. And no, I was hyped too when I saw him come. I'm like, oh no way! Yeah, I was pretty pumped.
Yeah, I jumped at that, bro. I was like, yes, one of our guests is on the
it's just cool to see people that I truly respect and love, just from a fan perspective and getting to know him a little bit throughout the years. But he's just one of my favorites.
No. Thank you, because I meant to say something at the beginning of the show, but of course, I just and but no, I'm glad you brought it up, man, because I would have been totally feeling bad knowing that probably if we went off the air and I didn't mention it, I'm like, I would have been, dang it. So no.
It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. So let's talk about the TNA World Championship match here. And I'm not really too thrilled about this, man. John, I like you, man. Or at least I used to, but now apparently he doesn't believe.
Maybe he does believe, and it's just not, Joe Hendry's time yet, and there's bigger plans for Nick Nemeth. But did you see what he said online? He's the guard of professional wrestling. I want to understand what's going on with this whole thing. Like, this is a beautiful little piece of story, like tying together, companies tying together, maybe. I don't know, but calling himself the guardian of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what comes of it. Why did he go after Joe Hendry? Does Joe Hendry try to get redemption? And the thought of a Joe Hendry JBL match, I don't know about you. Makes me happy. So if it takes Joe Hendry losing his potential championship win to get that match, call me selfish because I'm solidly booked in.
Oh, I know. And let's not forget about the point that before this happened. Okay, this is actually the middle part of his chaos he caused.
Yeah,
because he came in and he had to call in and straighten out Frankie Kazarian, who was the special guest ref, who actually won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match at the beginning of the night, and he brought that trophy out there with him. So he was trying to cash it in and pull another ref out, and that's when John Layfield came out of the crowd and actually gave a lariat to him, knocking him out. And he comes out here.
Thank the wrestling gods.
Comes out here, lays out Joe Hendry. This is right before he threw the
and to finish the trio off, punches Ryan Nemeth in the face and then leaves.
Punching Ryan Nemeth in the face. Nick Nemeth's brother. It's like, where are you at, man?
He's the wrestling god.
It's like everybody drops except for Nick Nemeth in the ring. Like, what the hell just happened? And so he don't know. And now we're going to get a very good episode of TNA Impact come Thursday, wanting some answers. So that's just like, you always want to leave the crowd wanting more. What the heck happened? But man, so I kind of had a feeling that it wasn't Joe Hendry's time, but I did not want to see this because I love,
this. Like, if this is the way it has to be, Ruby, like, it's the best option. It's the best for business because it's opened so many more. Like, this one move by JBL opened so many more Pandora boxes that I'm like, what the piss is going on still? Like, I just don't.
I know, man.
And it makes me want to tune into TNA. Like, that's what it's supposed to be doing.
Well, let's just say, since they changed it back to the original name, they have just been kicking ass, and I look forward to getting to watch their show. I really do. A lot more than that other one that starts with an A. I don't know what is it? AEW.
Stop it. They did pretty good this week.
Yeah,
I didn't watch Collision, but I watched Dynamite.
Yeah, okay. They really only need one show, bro. I'm just saying. You're overbooked. I digress. Going back
to Joe Hendry getting his head taken off.
Yeah. So that happened.
So Nick Nemeth still is your champion.
Yes. As you can see here, he is still the TNA World Champion, which I still love that belt.
Oh, okay. So on this, now look at that photo, and I noticed this too when he raised his title. He had more of like a darker, like, brooding.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like he had more of something that came over him, more of like a darker feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He was just out of it because those two went toe to toe, him and Joe Hendry, and then of course finding his brother knocked out and then freaking arguing with Frankie Kazarian. He was like, "Where the heck are you? Why is this referee counting me for the 3? What are you doing? Trying to cash in?" So It's going to be quite a predicament for Santino to deal with come Thursday. And, man,
But
yeah.
overall, Bound for Glory, hell of a show. Hell of a show. Good card.
But you forgot the last part.
No. See, here's the thing. I'm not. Let's take my dislike for Jeff out of the equation, and my dislike for I'm not really in it for the Hardys anymore. I will tell you guys this, and I'll be honest with you. Okay, I was a Hardys fan when I was a kid. I liked both Matt and Jeff as a tag team, but as I got older, noticed the things. Matt's the better Hardy, plain and simple, and you guys just like watching people fall off stuff. That's it. But when you paint okay, so you're right. Like, I didn't get to see this match yet, and you said to me, hey, because I already knew it was happening, the title switch, because I saw the night before, because I didn't watch, I watched today. I watched Bound for Glory today.
Yeah.
And everything's painted up, Hardy Boys, it's got
the canvas and the tables, and it's and then they come out first, and it's it's happening. It's even even the next teams come out, it's like they're going over. So
it didn't play to anything. It didn't do anything for me. It wasn't nostalgia. It wasn't, because here's the thing too. This was a hell of a match. Actually, this was a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The match was actually really good. But it's also something the Hardys are really good at, and that is a ladder match and using those things as weapons and stuff, and not so an excellent match. But when you have the emphasis of the Hardy Boys theme all over everything, it took away from the match at the same time.
Thank you. Yes.
Because Hardy Boys. But I guarantee you now, this is how the Hardy Boys come back to WWE.
Yeah. So I wanted to name it wanted to rename it the Hardy's Playground match, because it's all it is with all these big eyes and Hardy's graffiti.
It was it was as dumb as that stupid world title that TNA made Jeff Hardy back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that stupid thing?
Yeah. Oh.
Just another reason not to like Jeff Hardy. They gave him a dumb custom title. The spinner one, the spinner title for Cena is goofy, but at least it kind of makes sense to the character. Jeff Hardy one, I'm sorry.
Shoot, speaking about,
I don't like this. Why can't we just ended it at Joe Hendry getting knocked out by the God himself?
Because Bound for Glory wanted a big pop, and you knew this was coming.
Yeah, there's two pot bellies in there.
So you could take that awful canvas, all the tables that had that graffiti, take that belt and put it all in a pile and just make a big bonfire.
Oh, that's not going to go in a pile in a bonfire. That's going to go into the Hardy complex, I guarantee you. Matt bought that canvas.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
As long as it stays there, don't. It's too ugly to be put out in public, bro.
And please don't put none of your charismatic artwork on those titles.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know that.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Watching these two run their cells into the ground. I don't know. I guess I'm the wrong person to praise. I love Matt. Matt does make me happy, but
this should be their last title reign. I'm sorry. This should be their last title reign.
I think I said about 10 years ago, I think Matt Hardy should have become a manager, and that's it. But because that broken gimmick would have been a perfect manager character for a wrestler that had a dark, you know what I'm saying? It would have worked, and you just wasted it.
Yeah,
I think you wasted, I guess, but I don't know.
So that was. Yeah, so I mean, Bound for Glory, I did really enjoy overall. It's just I really didn't dig the last match of the night, because I knew where it was going, and it's you're going to end it like this.
I mean, overall, I give it a good B minus.
Yeah.
The show, I mean, I'm not going to tear it down because of Matt and Jeff, but
yeah. Shoot, so we go from that, and then we get tonight before we go on the air. starting 3 hours before we did, was NXT's Halloween Havoc from
Great show.
Hershey, Pennsylvania, which really just floors me is that they could pack that arena, but then they don't want to travel that much for their weekly shows.
They're
And it's
thinking. They're thinking, man.
yeah, I know, but but for Halloween Havoc, Bubba Ray Dudley was on the pre-show, and he was back.
Oh, it was so good to see the Busted Open guys doing the pre-show stuff. Like, yeah, LaGreca's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I could be a nerdy fan podcaster and just be Greca, I would 100%. He's hanging out with Bubba Ray, man. Come on.
Shoot. Kicking off with the table ladders and scares match for the North American title, and Tony the Don, with the help of the family, did get the win over Obafemi. So
see,
yeah,
Vin Diesel's right. It's all about family.
It is. It was a tough contest too, boy. There was a lot.
Oh, it was wrecking house, bro.
Yeah. He was wrecking a lot, and but I'm actually kind of relieved to see that Oba did not get it back, and the Don needs this. It's kind of good that the family stepped in and helped out and came away with the victory.
My question now is, where does Oba go from here? Because in all honesty, there's only one way to go for Obafemi, in my opinion, and it skips the NXT title. So that's my personal thing. Like, he almost needs to go to the main roster in some sense.
Nah, but yeah, you would think.
Because the dude's just like, I hate to say it, and don't take this the wrong way, Omos. Okay, he's what WWE wanted Omos to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like, that guy needs to be buckled in and let the wave go up there and kind of. I know you don't want to push guys too fast, right? You don't want them to get the spotlight too quick and get. But this is one of those guys. To me, rocket ship now, just rocket ship. Let him come in and just level house on stupid stuff. I say a Royal Rumble entry for Obafemi wrecking house. That's what I see. Hardcore. That. Introduce that man straight to the main roster now within the next 4 months. 5, right?
Yeah.
5 months?
Well, Obafemi, he has a lot more to get. He has a lot more to offer with his attributes, as far as his skill. And I'm sorry, skill and power. Omos wasn't really that fluent. I'm sorry, he wasn't. Oba has a lot more going for him than Omos does. I'm sorry.
I still love Omos.
You still love him, I think Omos, they pretty much given up on him.
It seems like our guy has been,
yeah,
or my guy has been put to the back burner. But that's fine. Maybe they're working with him. Maybe I'm just saying that. I mean, Oba's so good. What?
I mean, you put him on the shelf. Who's on your mic this week?
Oh, it's always the Miz. It's always the Miz.
It's always the Miz.
Yeah, I gotta have
the guy that here like he's dressing these days.
He's actually in. This is right when he came to Raw from ECW.
Oh,
actually, if not mistaken.
It's not the tiny balls gear, is it?
No. And then I got Miz in a suit, but no, it's always Miz sitting there. Usually, I mean, it was R-Truth for a while, and then Omos. Maybe I'll switch it out again, but it's usually just the Miz.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, Obafemi has that fire, dude. That's it. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, he does. But then we jump right into the women's tag feature with Cora Jade and Roxanne facing Stephanie Bakure and Julia. And man, what a match this was, boy. Stephanie and Julia worked really well together. And man, I think they worked better. I mean, Cora and Roxanne did. Like I said, they've had their spots and they gave them a challenge, but it seems like Stephanie and Julia seem to have they seem to work or flow better, and they haven't worked that much. So I just kind of wonder who's the guilty party between Cora and Roxanne. I almost want to say Cora is because she's just come back and
Yeah. She's not as warmed up, and I mean the other two girls. I mean they came right off of being in matches on the indie scenes and being active and no ring rust, no nothing like that. Roxanne's been unfortunately putting it down, I guess, as the world champion. Once again, I'm not a big she's okay. I enjoy her, but she's not my cup of tea.
and
All four women did really well, actually, in my opinion. I was cooking at this time, so I was not paying attention as hard.
No, but like I said, I'm just and then what was it? Zarya made her debut on the CW last night, and she's made her appearance here tonight, right after the match.
Not this match. It wasn't this match.
She showed up after the match, up in the rafters.
Okay, she was in the. Oh, that's why Bubba said that, because I was confused. I'm like, she really showed up in the rafters? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so she showed up in the rafters.
My bad.
Yeah. So, kind of wanted to see, because, like I said, George, this women's division is really, really building up. So,
oh yeah, this women's division in NXT is. I would almost be dared to say it. I think it's better than Gold and Black women's division.
So, what are we calling this? The Chrome and Black era now?
I don't know.
I mean, look at their. I mean, it's almost like a silver.
I thought it was white and black, but
it's like a silver logo, right?
Yeah, I would say Chrome and Black's good.
Yeah, so Chrome and Black. Yeah,
but I'm just saying, I would put up a pretty good argument that this division right now, this women's division in NXT, is better than when the Horsemen were there in the Black and Gold brand. And that is no disrespect to any of those women.
Absolutely not.
None whatsoever. But I truly believe this NXT division of women is standing on mountaintops right now better than... They're just so good. I enjoy everything.
And then, of course, after this was the ambulance match between Rich Holland and Andre Chase. Whoa, man. You want to talk about... These guys were throwing it down too. I mean,
Rich drops in some clobbers, man.
Heck yeah.
Like I thought thuds that Sheamus did when he did like the 10 beats of Balor's. Like I'm like that would hurt, right? you know that would hurt. But some of those thuds to that back of Andre Chase that Ridge was given. I was like, holy cow, it is not a drum, my dude.
Oh, yeah.
I did like the touch of the Ghostbusters ambulance, back then, the old school ambulance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's... That whole match was just real tough. I mean, it was really tough. It was really tough contest here. I thought that Ridge was almost done for, but
I thought so too.
Yeah, and I had a feeling maybe Andre wouldn't get it, but but Ridge did prove to dominate. And what about that whole that slingshot that he did
on the door?
On that ambulance door.
Oh, yeah.
And
Andre slapped that thing. Good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was. Yeah, I'll tell you that was something else. So, so Andre did come away with. Well, he went off in the. Well, he didn't really go off in the ambulance. He just lost.
No,
take him off.
They just lost.
Yeah. But here's our next disappointment of the night here with the Women's North American Championship. I really wanted Alani to run the gauntlet on Fatal Influence. She went ahead and beat Jasmine Nix. Then she went and she beat JC Jane. And then Fallon Henley, and then they found she was wrestling Fallon Henley, and then the two that were eliminated come back and start stirring up trouble and interfering, and Fallon Henley got the better part of it. So now Fallon Henley is now the new NXT Women's North American Champion. So, I mean,
I'm just happy to see Fallon as a champion.
I mean, I really do like Fallon too. It's just the whole around with the Fatal Influence, But I mean,
do you think Shawn Michaels is brave enough to make it where they have like the Freebird rule with it?
I would do the Freebird rule with them because I don't think out of all, I think Fallon's the better one out of all three.
I mean, I agree with you. But the way they set it up, I was like, man, are they going to go with like this joint kind of thing?
I think it'd be a horrible idea, at least with this faction, with that title. I don't think it's really good to me.
Okay. See, that's why I like it. But no, I enjoyed Fallon. I'm with you. Kalani Jordan should have still been champion. But obviously, it is nice to finally see Fallon Henley hold some gold because she's deserved it a long time ago, in my opinion. But they had other plans.
And so it's a step towards the NXT Women's title too.
So. But wasn't it when was it was after this that Zara came down and destroyed them, right?
Yeah. Zara came down and destroyed them. Yes.
Okay.
So she coming right after. She's coming right after and just trying to get hands on the gold here immediately. So Zarya was featured a lot, and I'm telling you, man, I think I like Stephanie Vancouver as my favorite newcomer. Of course, I liked her before she even came back.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites of the indie world. So like, it's cool to see her. I don't know much, but I like Zarya's look.
No, she reminds me of like Bull Nakano.
Yes, and that's what I was digging with it. I was like, okay, I can get with this. I was
just now thinking, I'm like, there's somebody that looked like that. Oh yeah, she looked like Bull Nakano.
Yeah.
Whenever, like 30, if you take back 30 years when she was in WWE, she had the whole hair and everything. It was just, it was in like the kind of long jacket, and that was pretty cool.
Julia has really impressed me too, and I've enjoyed watching her so much that I've gone back and like I've watched a couple of matches before she got signed with WWE, but now I've gone back and watched more, and I can't wait to see what she does within the division and how long it takes her to do the NXT world, and how the NXT girls that are coming up still are going to benefit from, dude, the amount of knowledge those women have being on the indie scene and learning from different brains, and then getting to come that here and bring that knowledge and fluctuate it within the WWE cycle. It's going to really improve that roster so much. Like there's tons of good coming out of these these three women coming into the business right now of NXT. So I just can't wait to see what they paint.
Ooh, it's going to be something good, man. It's going to be something really good. Hey, Aaron.
What's up, Aaron?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man. So then we're going to talk about this whole. Let's talk about the main event. Let's talk about the Devil's Playground. Let's talk about how all ego, which first off was killing me, with making fun of Vic Joseph, calling him a dumbass, and then with the pumpkin, and then freaking was going to hit Trick with it, and then Trick ends up kicking him, and then Ethan throws the pumpkin up, and then Trick catches him, and then he puts the pumpkin on Ethan, and he proceeds to kick him with it, and he break the pumpkin. Big Joseph, boy, he was on one tonight though.
He has gotten hell of good at commentary. That guy is really cooking right now on commentary.
He's definitely carrying that commentary team. I will say though, Booker didn't seem quite as annoying.
No, he's getting better. He's getting Book's finally finding a gear that works for him, and I'm cool with it. But this match, Trick and Ethan, man, they went all out in this match, and it was fun. The bolts, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, landing on like there is nothing there on that mat.
Oh yeah.
Landing on those, oh my god, dude. And the
Yeah.
little needles of like just the weld's not, the mold's not,
Yeah.
the little burrs. Oh,
No, I hate metal burrs, bro. I've had to deal with those a time or two, and then, man, those do not feel good at all.
no.
Um,
But not unfortunately, Trick Williams cheated to win, beat Ethan Page, the true champion of NXT, my champion, because it's not NXT, it's NX me.
yeah. Well, yeah, Ethan Page did not come away with it. But then let's talk about what happened at the end, though, because we're going to talk back with Rich Holland, because after Rich Holland's match, he went back up into that pre-show booth with Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray was getting ticked off. Was talking to Bubba Ray. He's like, "That's twice now," and
do it again,
yeah.
and you're gonna have a problem. Well, he did it again. He taxed Trick Williams in the ring.
Yeah.
Then him and Ethan argued, and then it was one-upsmanship, only to have who come in?
Yeah, Bubba Ray comes down and gets in the ring and inserts himself. And Trick and Bubba Ray fight Ethan and Rich Holland off. So
I can tell you exactly what's happening.
we know exactly what's happening with the next big time. The NXT's coming to the ECW arena on Wednesday, November 6th. That's right. They're going to be on a Wednesday night, and I guarantee you they're going to get better ratings than AEW, bro. They are.
Wait, they're going to be on Wednesday?
Yeah. Well, they can on Tuesday because that is election day.
Oh.
So, yeah, so that's election day.
Okay. Now, I wasn't paying attention to it. I saw somebody post about AEW and NXT going head-to-head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who
That's
cares?
the reason why.
It's on Tuesday, but now it makes sense because election day.
Yep. So, and then they've also announced another. So we see what's coming up. So it's probably looking at Ethan Page and Ridge Holland facing Trick Williams and yes, Bubba Ray Dudley, and maybe wrestling in the ECW arena again, getting that nostalgia feeling back.
I'm down with it.
Getting that nostalgia back. And then,
Trick, get the tables.
Yeah. Dude, I can see that. I can totally see that. And then another match was announced during the pay-per-view, which was, the
doll chick.
Yeah, so it was Rosemary and Wendy Chu.
No, it wasn't Wendy Chu. Rosemary and Wendy Chu. It's
Wendy
Chu and
Tatum Paxley, right?
Yeah, Tatum Paxley are going to have a casket match this coming NXT.
Right. And then there's also another extreme match that's happening that isn't it going to be another women's match?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right, but I know Dawn Marie is going to be the special guest referee.
Correct. So that's what Ava... Fudge, what was the match?
I'm going to see if I can pull that up. So, bear with me.
Chat helps out. Do you remember the match? Did you guys anyone watch?
Yeah, so I'm trying to see what's in here. Zarya, let's see. No. Well, we see that. I wish I knew the news. I wish I knew the news on this. Ooh, because we know of that. Like I said, so the casket match, and then of course the tag match that is coming. So, let's not also forget about who also came back on TV. Who I've been saying who really needs to come back on TV. William
Regal. And he's going to be in the corner of Lexus King against his son next week, or this coming week.
That's
for the Heritage Cup.
So Charlie Dempsey is Is
That's
the
William
son?
Regal's son.
Oh my lord! How did I not pick that up?
Yeah, that's. I've only been saying that.
Odd. Dude, that is so odd. That is so odd, man.
That's the whole reason he got out of his contract of AEW to go back to NXT.
Oh
Because
my gosh.
Charlie got signed by WWE.
Oh, okay.
Or at least it's supposedly one of the things. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna look this up here. Well, I thought I had something here, but
Are you talking about the NXT stuff? Because I'm still looking at it.
yeah. Well, now my app doesn't want to work, so it's figured. Don't you love technology, people? When we're trying to find out something here for you, and they're it doesn't want to work. Okay, let's just do NXT. NXT Live. Okay, there's the official one. It doesn't want to load. I want. Okay. So apparently NXT's official site is having some issues. It won't load on Facebook. I wonder if it'll load on X. Well, we're going to check on X here with that. So
Okay, I got it. It's Lola Vice versus Miss Parker, Jada Parker.
Oh, that's
with
right.
Anna Marie as in a hardcore match. I got you, guy.
There
I
you
got
go.
you.
Thank you.
White Long, how you doing, sir? How you doing?
Nah, so leave me to do all the stumbling and not come away with the result. But thanks for saving me, though.
I got you.
But Lola Vice, yeah, Jada beat her butt. Please.
Yeah, please, Jada. Miss
Oh,
Parker.
Lord.
Miss Parker, take us to school. Beat her down.
Extreme Rules match, special guest referee Dawn Marie. So I am psyched for that show. And if you're watching that instead of Dynamite, you're out of your freaking mind. That's all I gotta say. So,
I'm gonna watch both the same time.
Yeah, well,
No,
I
I'm
know
not.
that can be possible. I know it can. But
Not gonna lie, that's what I was doing for the first matches and in the last match.
yeah.
So the first match and the last match, I watched Bound for Glory, the World Tag Team Title match, and then the North American titles at the exact same time.
Yeah. So let's talk about this here. Let's talk about a major storyline that's combining between both shows with SmackDown and Raw. So Jay dropping the gold back to Braun Breaker thanks to the Bloodline. And
No yeet.
yeah, no yeet. And then eventually, and then SmackDown, there's a lot of factors in with SmackDown because this is huge. Because a Bloodline comes on toward the end of the night because this is after what happens after that is the number one contenders match between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns, which Motor City, of course, was victorious on that. What a good tag match that was, man. That was fantastic. Fantastic of a tag match. And then they're celebrating in the ring for a good while. The Bloodline comes out. Solo gives a nice little promo and offers a tag title shot. Nick Aldis was not going to offer it, but then, what was it? Alex Shelley,
Yes.
kind of called it out.
He's like, Alex is like, no, just do it. If that's what they want to do, like, we're good. We're good for it. You know us.
And they put on a good solid match for maybe about 8 minutes or so. But what came toward the end of that is a man out of the crowd coming in all dressed up in black, giving freaking savate kicks. And everyone was yeeting after that. And
Well, the first one was Jimmy.
First one was Jimmy, yes. Jimmy came out.
Jimmy came out first. Then Roman.
Then Roman came out. So
they balled to the back, and then we got Jay's face.
Yeah, then we got Jay coming out, and we got Jay's face and everything there. So
only for Jimmy and Jay to close the show in the ring, hugging, and Roman standing on the entrance ramp.
Right.
It supposedly got in the ring and said yeet, but that was in dark. That was in dark.
To that. Yeah, it's like so. There's also a couple. Yeah, so there's a couple reels that happened after the show. Like that was one of them. But let's not also forget though that the reason Jay came back, he cost the Tongas their titles. And so after the third match in WWE, the Motor City Machine Guns are WWE Tag Team Champions. I never thought I would hear that phrase said to be true.
Blows my mind.
Crazy. That is crazy. But
it makes me happy.
Yeah, it's awesome that that Saban and Shelley get that. But well deserved, something to put in their cap for their career, and that's awesome. But now we're looking into that, and yeah, so we're gonna talk. Yeah, so that was one of the reels about Roman saying "Eat in the ring" with Jay and Jimmy in there, and then there's another reel that I'm sure you can probably find this on WWE's official Facebook or Twitter page or whatever. But Nick Aldis, after the fact, kicked not only Jay and Jimmy out of the building, but he kicked Adam Pearce out of the building.
Yep.
And he said, "Okay, fine." What did he say?
Game on.
This means war.
Yeah.
Which talking about war games. So where do we go with war games, man? I mean, are we going to see the Bloodline Civil War? Are we going to see Raw versus SmackDown? Man, I don't know where this is going to go, and this is why we're so in tune. It makes us want to guess.
So here's my hope. This is my hope, because I heard all that too. So this is my. Can we get Raw versus SmackDown in War Games? In a traditional Survivor Series for the Bloodline Civil War. That's all we need. Just those two. I mean, you can have 2 War Game matches on the card. You can have women and men's, okay? But have it be Raw versus SmackDown.
Man.
I want so bad for bragging rights to be a thing again. Everybody keeps talking about how the brand split's bad now. It's gone to hell. Like, no, not everybody's. Stop it. There's nothing wrong with wrestlers from different brands going and having those interactions so that we get this moment. Do you know how many people are buzzing for potential and hope that we get a Adam Pearce versus Nick Aldis match at WrestleMania?
Well, it's not like the guys wouldn't be able to pull it off. I mean,
I'm not saying that. But like that possibility's on the table. Like,
yeah,
the NWA champions of this era, right? The thing that the title that made you, Ruby, want to become a professional wrestler. Yeah. They carried that. Those 2 men have got to this point where now they're GMs and they could potentially have a feud and match that culminated at WrestleMania. Neither one of those guys thought they'd ever get it, but they got it because they were 2 of the best damn GMs to ever grace the GM position. I will fight anybody on that. These 2 are amazing. Like they're Vicky Guerrero was the last like good GM, and these 2 are standing toe to toe with her. Teddy Long was a good GM.
Oh no, I think Pearce and Aldis are really knocking it out of the park.
Oh man, the only thing that can make it better is if William Regal was the GM of NXT. Like that's the only way. But I'm kind of digging Ava right now, and I'm not mad about her being there. She's kind of starting to finally find her groove and be that person. So I'm cool with Ava being the GM down there.
Absolutely. Like I said, NXT is going to be really good this week with the tag titles with Fraxium and facing off against Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. That's going to be a good one. Then, of course, we got the Heritage Cup, which I'm really looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
I just like seeing Regal on TV. I think he's good. I really do. Even with them. That's why I got really excited tonight. I was like, oh, where's Regal? So I'm really excited for that.
You just nerded out hardcore. I loved it.
Because how many times have I been saying this? Regal needs to be on TV. How many times have I said it and then it happens?
I just love seeing it. I love seeing that positive like outburst from you of like genuine fandom coming out of the professional wrestler.
Well, sure. Well, I mean, because I know what things will work, and I know that Regal works on TV, and I don't know if anybody's listening
so
to me.
My question for you all this: does Lexus King stay true to his good guy ways that he's doing right now, or do we see him break the rules maybe in the Heritage Cup? Because I mean, there's more rules in a Heritage Cup match. I still want to know how Regal plays a part with it, like because it is Dempsey.
Yeah, it is against his son, and it'd be so funny. It's just out of nowhere, Regal throws in the towel for Lexus and just forfeits the match for his son.
I mean, that's something that could happen.
I mean, that I will laugh at. I think that would be funny. Shoot, we didn't talk much. God, like I said, there's just so much because
Are you
this week?
are you pumped for Dominic Mysterio to get his win so that he gets a chance at the World Heavyweight title? Because he has to go up tomorrow night. Tomorrow night he goes up against a world champion of the past. It's gonna be Damian Priest, just so you guys all know.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
No, it is. It's Damian. I just have this weird feeling because of the way Finn was like, "Oh, Priest is. I'm not done with Priest. We're not done with Priest." And then Carlito going, "I'm the fixer. I'm the fixer." And Pierce going, "All right, he can get his chance, but he has to defeat this former world champion." It's Damian Priest.
Yeah. Which is fine because Damian's going to mop the floor with him. So it's all right. Turn him upside down.
Don't say that. Dude, Dominic Mysterio on podcast, if you're not watching.
Oh, I've seen it. That dude's a savage on the freaking mic. He is evil on the mic, talking all dirt on his dad.
Can you say one nice thing about your dad? He has nice hair. Yeah. He doesn't have hair. I can't remember what he said now, but he said, "Oh wait, he said sucks to suck."
Or what was it? Oh, you mean my other dad? Yeah.
No, he's. What, do you think your dad would be proud of you or something? Or what was? I can't remember. And he's like, "Which dad?"
Yeah.
You mean my deadbeat?
Yeah, the deadbeat. Yeah. Oh man, no, that ought to be Damian and Dominic tomorrow night. Trying to think what else is brewing for Raw. I'm not sure. All I know is that Crown Jewel is this Saturday as well. If you're remember, it's over on the Eastern Hemisphere. So if you're gonna watch it here, remember it's
early.
It's 1 Eastern, noon Central. And also we'll talk about one other thing after that, just real quick, just a note. But remember the Crown Jewel Championship. So there's the two Crown Jewel Championship matches. There is a WWE Women's Tag Team Fatal 4-Way. As the involving Lash Legend and was it Kara Jackson or I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember.
And then we got Chelsea and Piper, and then who else?
No.
I forgot.
You know why that's gonna be sad?
Why?
Because Samantha Irving left WWE, and we're not gonna get Chelsea Green anymore.
Oh, yeah, I know Samantha. Yeah, that's just a whole ball of wax. That
I'm not mad at her, like all the other idiots out there. Like, let her go live her life.
Yeah, but you know how long people have just been, I want to do this, I want to do that. I understand, but if you got to do what's good for the company, though, and if you were getting paid decent, well, what's the big deal? Not saying
I
that
mean,
you're not going
it's
to be
not,
able to
no,
eventually
no,
do
no,
it.
no, 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 no. Back the train up there, buddy. It is not what's best for the company. If I stay with the company and that's where my dreams lie, I respect that statement. But if my dreams don't lie there, and she wanted to be a musician, like that's what she wants to be, a singer, and that's what she's
I heard
planning on
one
going to
track on
do.
Apple Music and I was not impressed. She needs to do something else. I'm sorry.
Let her do her thing.
Let her do her
Let
thing. You know.
She doesn't like being an announcer. She said it on X actually. She does not like being an announcer. Did not. She'd love to become a manager.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that I guess that's fine, but you know what? You think there's a lot of guys that are in this business that didn't want to do what they wanted to do at first. I
I mean, I
understand.
agree. I understand where you're coming from, but like, it if you're working your dream job, you're not working, right? And she wasn't working her dream job. Respect. Thank you for letting us hear your voice and make a genre of wrestling very, very enjoyable. I wish you would have stayed longer. I hope you go back somewhere potentially and do that. And Lillian's just not as good.
She wants to be on screen talent, which I'm sure she probably will be, but she's probably saw Ava and was like, man, I could do that 10 times better. I bet you
Maybe she
anything.
could. What if she could?
She probably could.
And she got passed up on it because they just put her in this one box.
Yeah, but Lillian Garcia is back now for Raw, and how long?
I really like that guy that did NXT tonight.
Mike Roma is excellent.
Yeah.
In fact, they had Mike Roma on SmackDown. You know,
Yeah, Mike's the bomb too. So like, I don't know why we're not using him more, but hey, whatever. Lillian's back. That's pretty cool.
well, I mean, they're going to assign where they want to assign. It's just, I know I keep talking about Alicia Taylor just not really doing it for SmackDown, but
I agree with that statement, but
it's just, yeah. But what do you do? What do you do? So that, and then also we are going to be getting Randy versus Kevin. If you
at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, at Crown Jewel. So those are
Trying to
pretty much
save
the
you,
four
Randy.
matches we're looking at, unless there's something else that's going to be added to that PLE. So, excuse me, it is
It'll be
getting kind of
interesting.
late over here, but I don't know. Like I said, that'll be this coming Saturday. I think that's really the only major thing. We'll review Crown Jewel as far as some other stuff here. As far as I know, it's just going to be myself, Zmiz, and we are going to be welcoming back Austin Cage to talk about the I guess the aftermath of Bound for Glory, and then also we'll be talking about Crown Jewel, anything else that majorly has happened in the world of and we may even talk about a certain topic. So we'll definitely have a fun show for you next week here. We always try to have something fun here. I know we always go god awful long, but we don't even take breaks either, man, because there's so much that's happened. I mean, like I said, storylines, wrestling, a lot of it is just hopping right now. A lot of things that are happening. I'm telling you, man, once Vince left the industry, it's just been exploded. It's just been explosive, man. And yeah, I mean, just keep it coming, man. Just keep it coming. Also, oh yeah, that's why I remember next week. Remember to set your clocks back. We're going back to standard time, so you're going to gain an extra hour of sleep next week. So I'm hyped for it.
Did you know Finn and JD showed up at some?
Oh, right? Yeah, they went back. Yeah, I saw that. I
don't remember what the promotion was, but that was kind of crazy to see. I didn't.
Yeah, good to see the World Tag Team Champions show up at your at your event. I think it was in their home country, if I understood.
I want to say that's what it was, but I couldn't remember what the promotion was. I'm curious on who we find out this week too. On that, we find out who their opponents are.
All right. Yeah.
Right? It's New Day versus.
Well, I don't know.
Son of a gun, but okay.
I don't know. Like you said, this is what I'm talking about, folks, because you're having major Yeah, each show has a lot going on. And, we didn't really mention much about AEW, and I think one topic we're going to talk about probably next week is AEW, as far as my, I guess some of the current booking stuff, and I think you and I and Austin
How
are going to have a nice little conversation about that. So, um,
they left all the baby faces outside so they look like goofballs.
oh, that's just the tip of it. That's and they didn't even enter through. They went through like another way, and it's like, why would you want to stand out there for 2 hours? Then who books that? Okay, who books that? If I was the baby face, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm out there. Okay, whatever. I'm going to get back.
Yeah, so we'll
I'm gonna
have the
go back to
finals.
catering. Screw that noise. So
We'll have the finals of LWO versus New Day for the tag team. Like who becomes the number one contenders for the tag team champions?
yeah. I mean, New Day's got. It's either New Day will prevail to go face them, or if they lose to LWO, then we're probably going to see a possible breakup. So, yeah. So, I mean, who do you really want in that? Do you want the LWO to go? Because I don't know. I mean, should they really get pushed toward that? I mean, or do you want to keep the New Day lounging around? Because Karrion Kross is always eavesdropping, always putting his nose in his business and other people's business. I mean, and what you
go ahead.
Poor Miz though, he needs to kind of stay out of the way out of everything.
Oh no, he's caught now.
Yeah, Wyatt 6 is totally after him now.
Yeah, Karrion said one of my guys took a bullet for you. Now you got to figure out how to fix this. But with the New Day thing, like, did they already pass their 10 years? It's coming up, isn't it?
I would have to do some research on that, to be honest.
I can't remember if they've been... Like, if they haven't hit their 10-year mark, I say we keep going with it and they become champions, and that's how they fall out. But I don't know. I see LWO winning. Unfortunately, I'm not, like... I like the LWO, but this LWO feels like it's just a knockoff, and it's irritating. Yeah. So...
Yeah, it's Mexican hostess. So,
like, I don't know. That's not what I'd say, but whatever.
Yeah, with that being said, the reincarnation of hostess. That's never good. Ding dongs and Twinkies are never the same. Yes, the fat man can say that, so I don't care. So,
yeah, Twinkies aren't good anymore. What are you talking about?
They were good beforehand before they went out of business. I'm just saying they were. So, oh man, but. What a night of action. What a night that we've had here for you guys. Once again, I want to thank Royce Adams for hanging out with us, kind of giving us some great insight on what it was like growing up with his dad and hanging out with Uncle Randy and Uncle Bill and and Uncle Big Show
and Uncle Show.
Uncle Show, yeah. It looks like a big trucker, apparently.
Dude, that cracked me up.
Dude, that was funny. Oh man. And then of course everything that's led up to tonight, man. Like I said, a big weekend. We've had, I said, Bound for Glory, then Halloween Havoc. Which, by the way, actually earlier in the week, I did watch the first ever Halloween Havoc from NWA.
Really?
WCW, yeah. That's nice. I got to go back to my roots when I want to see. When you mentioned
that had Macho Man in it, right? Like that was
in '89 with the original Thunderdome match between.
Oh, okay. That Thunderdome's good.
That's the one where Muda had to climb up the cage to put out a fire by blowing on it.
Right. Yeah.
It was Funkin' Muda versus Flair and Sting, and what a match that was. And also, there's some other good matches on there too. There's a 6-man between the Samoan SWAT team and the Samoan Savage versus Dr. Death Steve Williams and the Midnight Express. Man, what?
That would have been a cool match.
No, man, that was a good match too. Yeah, that was really good. So a lot of good matches in there, and then like that Thunderdome. that was something else.
Yeah. Did you like that Thunderdome?
That Thunderdome was yes. Yeah, that's the only Thunderdome that I know that was awesome and did not suck. So,
Oh, stop it.
Hey, I'm calling it the way I see it, man. Call it the way I see it. But we all got different views and different opinions, and that's what makes this show so beautiful. Yeah. 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 So look forward to talking about Crown Jewel next week, which hopefully they're gonna have more than the 4 matches. Hopefully there's gonna be a lot of stuff in between. If you're gonna have like something that airs for 3 hours, you think you would have something for 5 matches.
No, just do the 4 matches and be done with it.
Hey, we don't only have like a 2.5 hour show. Who cares? Let's go back home.
We could talk more. Like we could continue going.
I mean, yeah, we could, but I got work and stuff. I'm still going to therapy for my knee, by the way, and I do that first thing in the morning after I make sure my kid goes off to school. Yeah, IT bands and hamstrings are a
You should go to therapy for the thumb between your shoulders.
I don't like you, man. I don't like you.
I love you. You're my dude, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate Royce for coming on and having a great show talking about his dad and his past, his passion of getting into the wrestling business. Like, it's fun to nerd out with a bunch of just wrestling fans and friends. So.
And that's why we want to bring, like I said, we love bringing the show to you every Sunday night, everything wrestling, and like I said, it's been a fantastic time to. Let's see if anybody else is done. See, yeah, I know it wasn't you this time. It was freaking Texan earlier with it. And thanks to the big Texan for his. Only being in the business for 5 years, and I'm still new. He'll still teach me something. So, oh my gosh. Oh well. Like I said, big weekend too. So I'll watch Crown Jewel, and then of course I know I'm going to be in the house for SACW. You might be in the house for IEW.
No, I'm going to be there.
You will be there. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll be going separate ways in the same area again and being at different shows, but it's all right. It's all good. We always come back here to convene, and we'll probably even talk about our nights here too. We should have enough time to even talk about our nights to start off with. You never know, man. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to see if Justin really does put the boots to everybody and throws everybody out to get hit. I know Mr. O'Shea's not going to like me saying this, and he pays me very finely, but Class Action, man, they have been on a roll, and Justin Poole, he's arguably deserving of a world title opportunity now and not going through another hoop. But the lawsuit's almost done with, so we'll be – this is the last hoop I think he has to go through. 5 Stars finally getting his number 1 contenders match cashed in on the shooter Jerry Morgan. So we'll see 5 Star hopefully have a 5-star win. And then who's gonna be 1 in the last one? Does Jody Ultra go in number 1 and have to work all the way to the end to get his title opportunity in the Rumble, or is it going to be Chris Exodus? These two have had a mean relationship. Jody's taken aim since Chris has joined the IEW roster, and dysfunction on his side has not helped the situation. That's all I'm saying. Those two are going to tear the house down. And I know Herb and you guys at SICW are going to just Texan. Yep. Make sure Gary Jackson, give him a good pep talk for me so he takes out Attila.
Yeah, well, it's going to be up to the flag to the towel boys or the flag captains who's going to win. So if Danny Boy throws it in, it means that Gary loses. If Stephen E throws in the flag, it means Attila loses. So, and that's going to determine what type of match they're going to have on November 23rd.
That's giving Attila just so much free will. like in some sense. Like that man, oh Gary, my heart goes out for you, brother. You got this. He's beaten Attila many a times anyway, so if there's anyone that can do it, whoever
I don't know.
What?
I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? Remember the different morphs of different canes?
Is that Candy Cane?
Candy cane,
Dude.
in a red and white, and then we freaking get a white and black.
Cocaine.
Then we got cocaine. We can all just freaking leave the man's killer.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so dumb.
Oh my god, I am so done with the internet tonight.
With that being said, FCE, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Good lord.